The show will start in 15 seconds, and this is your last audible warning.
Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Buffalo Avenue Powder Coating's got a policy about posting stuff up.
Yeah, post anything you want, good or bad.
It's not really what you did. It's
I got bad postings about me, and I leave them on there. I got people pay. I wouldn't you just pay this much money. We'll take that off them bad things off. No,
you mean talk about your Yelp reviews and things like that?
Yeah. I went to Alaska powder coating for a refund and came back with a black eye.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
I think we're having a problem with X right now.
Yeah,
if you want to call back to the boiler room and see if indeed I'm correct. I think they're not shoveling coal in fast enough into the X/Twitter machine. Keeps giving me a retry Willie, but I got everything. I got Facebook, I got Twitch, I got Rumble, and I got YouTube that's all up. Let me throw it over to Rhett. Rhett, you having problems with X, my friend? Is it just not working for you? To being a dick? Macho.
Macho's Mike.
Macho, yes. Go ahead, Mach.
It's a Twitter site. We're working on it. It's Twitter.
Okay, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, they're both on their computer.
Did anybody see Macho's outfit for Friday?
They look good.
What do you mean outfit? You mean the shirt?
Yeah. Well, he had some sunglasses, and he had he just the whole Macho on
sunglasses and a shirt. Yeah,
it's a costume.
I put it up on the Instagram.
Did you?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yes, Merch Trick sent it to me yesterday.
Well, I think you also said that there's something else that we put up as a short. Gary Cantrell and, of course, Rhett always working on the shorts so that we can repost them on our various pieces parts. And you said one did really well this past couple days on your Instagram.
Yeah, it was. Well, we were talking about what we should use today for the the headline of the show, and I said Gene Hackman just because I think it happened later Friday, and I just said that a segment we did about Gene Hackman had like 100,000.
Yeah, we had two big ones on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah,
fantastic
Cletus
tall
one and
fantastic tall. Thank you. I'm so bummed, man, because all the guys that I'm hoping my Packers could potentially get, because I think free agency starts like maybe tomorrow. I think
kind of starts today, where stuff's gonna start leaking out, but nothing official. I think is today's legal tampering.
But a lot of these deals have already, it seemed, to have gotten done. Maybe in principle.
Well, trades were able to get done, and then guys who were cut were able to sign. But the official free agent
is the 12th at 4 o'clock.
All right. Well, the people that I've been looking at for the Packers to potentially get is the guy from Cleveland, the Myles Garrett. he just signed a world record. I think it's the largest contract outside of a quarterback contract.
Yes.
In the NFL. So that's he's gone. Then my number one target as a Packer fan was Devontae Adams, free agent from the Jets. He just signed a big deal with the Rams. Then I was looking for Metcalf from Seattle, who I think might be the premier wide receiver in the league. He's now locked up with the Steelers.
He's okay. He didn't develop into the Megatron people thought he might after his rookie season.
No, Seth's right on that one, but he is a beast.
So really, God, he is a beast. So really, the only thing I got my heart set on now is Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers, and I think the Bucs are going to do everything they can to make that happen. And I think they have the salary space. I don't know. So
they can work the magic.
So it looks like the Packers are going to use the draft again to get some no-name willies that are going to not make it. And we're going to have I don't know, Christian Watson is a joke.
Now they're saying that Aaron Rodgers could go to the Vikings.
Yeah, just like what Brett Favre did. Green Bay, Jets, Vikings. That would suck.
And Seattle's talking to Aaron Rodgers, too.
Okay, fine. Ship him to Seattle.
He would suck anywhere, dude. He sucks.
No, he really doesn't. He doesn't really suck.
He's old. He's tired. He's fragile now, and he's not going to recover from an injury. He'll never play 17 games this year.
I'm just telling you, he played 17 last year.
Yeah, that was an anomaly.
No, I mean, he prior to the Achilles blowout, I don't know the last time he didn't play 17 with the Packers.
When he broke his collarbone, I think it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was early on, I think.
No, that was.
I think that was early on. There's not to be too local, but there's now, and I believe these sources say that Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred and some owners are pressuring Stu Stuenberg to sell the Tampa Bay Rays. Revenue sharing money could be at stake. Supposedly one of the main parties of interest is local, former San Francisco 49 owner, and his family still owns the 49ers. He just had to step down and give it to his sister, but that's Eddie DeBartolo Jr.
I wonder if he's going to partner with Joe Maury, I think his name was.
Who's Joe Maury?
He used to be partners with Steinbrenner and the Yankees. Married Steinbrenner's daughter.
Maybe.
Took over the team when George was suspended and ran the team till
She did?
No, he did.
He did.
Until 99, and he had to stop working for Steinbrenner.
I know. I got to think that locally.
And he's a local kid.
Locally. First of all, what do you think the price? What do they have the Rays valued at? $1.2 billion. I know it's $1 billion, but just barely north of $1 billion. Like it's not $1.6 billion or $1.8 billion. It's like $1.1 billion, $1.2 billion. I think.
Yes.
Maybe I can ask.
Depends on if the stadium deal still.
Hey Alexa, how much are the Tampa Bay Rays baseball team worth?
What would you rather own, Bubba? A baseball
in March 2024, the Tampa Bay Rays valuation is $1.25 billion.
Dead on. What would you rather own, a football team or a baseball team?
Oh, a football team all day.
He bought them for $65 million, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow, what a steal.
$65 billion. And well, I mean, let's talk about other steals. The Glazers bought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $195 million.
Right, it's worth what, $2 billion now?
If not $3 billion. I'm just saying.
Great deal. And Steinbrenner said that's too much money. I'm out.
Steinbrenner.
Dumbass.
Actually, Steinbrenner, my good friend Mark Tate, the owner of this building, was Steinbrenner's Tampa personal attorney and was in negotiations. And I also know your brother Steven.
Dad.
I'm sorry.
And Dad.
But I thought Steven was.
Yeah, they all participated.
Yeah.
And they tapped out because they thought it was too high. They didn't want to go above like 180.
Right.
Which was the biggest mistake of that family's life, except the fact that he died when there was no inheritance tax. So his kids got every frickin' penny.
Joy. Wasn't his wife, his daughter named Joy? Joy Culverhouse?
No, I'm not talking about Hugh Culverhouse. I'm talking about the Steinbrenners. When the Steinbrenners died.
What I'm talking about is when Culverhouse was selling it, I thought his daughter inherited. I thought she.
No, his wife got it.
Or
I
his
believe.
wife was it?
His
Wasn't
wife.
her name Joy?
Joy.
Something
Yes.
like that.
And I think the daughter's name was Gay Comerhouse.
Yeah, that's right. Joy and
Joy
Gay.
and Jay Gay.
Joy and Gay. And so anyway, he wanted. I think Steinbrenner's top dollar. He gave the Culver Houses a take it or leave it at 185, and the Glazers swooped it up for 195, and please.
I don't know. Kind of, there seems to be some holes in this story as far as why is MLB forcing Stu Sternberg to possibly sell. But from what I can gather, it just seems like they're quite tired of his nonsense. It says MLB is looking to take away some of the $60 million of the team's revenue-sharing money down the road if a long-term plan, whether it's selling or building a new stadium, is not figured out.
I think
that's crazy.
In my opinion, Seth, and I could be wrong, I think they're tired of him always being Johnny Lowball on the salary. We're always, we're always the top. We're always the bottom 5 on salary. Always. And now he can't pull the trigger on a stadium deal, and a stadium deal that's really pretty fair to him. There's a lot of stadium deals where the owner has to pay for it all.
Yep.
Or, pay it back, where the municipality will take out bonds and things like that, and the owner has a 30-year, amortization or something like that, where they have to pay back half to 3/4 over a 20 or 30-year plan. But Stu Sternberg has, from what I've been told, I don't know, I haven't really kept up on it like I should, but I've been told that this stadium deal is really one of the more pro owner deals cut of all the new stadiums built, and that he should take the deal.
I think he's only had to pay, or they've only, the best deal I think that they were able to come up with is that he only has to pay half.
Yeah,
which is nice these days. After the Marlins got 100%.
Well,
what do you mean by they had to pay all of it?
Yeah, it's tax. Yeah.
The Marlins had to pay all of it.
No, the state had to pay the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they got it for free.
So anyway,
so you think Sternberg wants to get it for free too?
Yeah.
I mean, because these guys, they have teams worth $1 billion and they're cheap. It's so irritating.
That's the thing is, I'm not gonna pay for this. I sound like don't send my money to Ukraine. I'm not gonna pay for this guy's new stadium. I know it's great for the city, but I don't really get anything out of giving this guy a new stadium so he can make more money down the road.
The only thing I'm for is for maybe the municipality or the city or the county chipping in, as other counties have, half or a portion of it, but he has to be legitimately on the hook for at least half. Those are the deals that you see where the owner pays half. That's pretty common.
There are way too many people trying to get into the sports ownership game right now, and anybody, whether it's the Bartolos or whether it's a group led by Alex Rodriguez, I think anybody could come in here and do a better job and get things done than what's been happening for the last 20 years here.
Here's the thing, man. He just has to leave all the infrastructure that, listen, the Rays are not broken except for the ownership, except for the guy that owns the team. Mm-hmm. The Rays do more with their money. They talk about taking chicken shiz and turning it into chicken salad. I mean, for $65 or $70 million, for less than $100 million a year, they come in and put together a very competitive team. Tell me the last time the Rays won less than 90 games.
It's been a long time, Bubba, and I don't know that the problem is the owner, because again, the owner is putting together these 90-plus win teams every year. The problem is the city and the location.
No.
It sucks. They got water surrounding them. They're on a cul-de-sac. Right. It sucks. Right. They have no people close enough to support them. When they were Super Bowl, when they were World Series backups, or when they had these incredible runs, they still couldn't sell the stadium.
So relocate the stadium to Hillsborough County. But he has such great. The Rays have such a great infrastructure of scouting, of metrics, of minor leagues. So none of that's broken.
And you can't put that on Sternberg, Stu? I mean, because he put that machine together.
It's both people. It's Sternberg because he doesn't want to really come out of a pocket to build the stadium elsewhere outside of St. Pete, even in Tampa. So you put that on Sternberg too for being cheap. And the city, obviously, wanting to keep it in St. Pete and Tampa not stepping up to the plate. So you got to put it on both of them.
Yeah, I mean, but he has established an unbelievable system. Every one of his general managers and every one of the first guy defected and went to the Dodgers and has won. I think he has won a couple World Series. If not, they're in it all the time. They've had 4 or 5 defections with regards to the way they analyze baseball, and they got it down. The Rays have got it down where they can get the most out of talent based on the dynamics. And it's kind of like Billy Ball. I mean, when they kind of took Billy Ball from Oakland and made it better.
Yes,
and they have all these statistics from bat head speed to things that and Joe Madden came in and played small ball with those metrics and started a winning tradition. So the team is not broken. The ownership is broken. And this guy is such a impossible to deal with person financially that he won't even take the risks that other teams take when building stadiums. That's just simply impossible. I don't know. Is there a Nashville? Is there a Montreal? Is there a Charlotte? Is there an Orlando? Is there a municipality that this guy could be talking to that would give him an all-in? The city or the county or the state pays for the entire stadium. Is there other suitors that are willing to do that?
Supposedly Orlando and Nashville.
I don't know why that they would be trying to force him to sell the team if they wanted the team to be relocated, especially if it's being led by a group that lives right here in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, it's criminal.
I mean,
I don't think what they did in Oakland now is they had to move Oakland to Las Vegas. I don't think they want to keep taking teams out of their cities, every 5 years just because this guy's a prick.
Right.
I think they want to keep baseball right here in Tampa, St. Pete.
And the problem is this guy's a prick. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, all the talking we've just done all comes down to Stu Sternberg is a prick.
He's making a ton of money, whether they build the stadium, whether he chips in, whether they win 60 games or whether they win 100 games. He's making a ton of money every single year. I mean, you heard that he's making $60 million in revenue sharing that MLB wants to take away if he doesn't straighten this stuff out.
Right.
So it's whether people go or not, the guy is still making it every single year, which is why he doesn't want to sell the team.
So when the league has stepped in and they have said, get your act together, or we're going to, I don't know if you can. I think we're gonna take your league funded $60 million away to try to make you sell the team. When they've stepped in, then you're a real asshole.
I could see it where he gets an opportunity, just like I think it was with the Marlins and the Red Sox. They're going to let him buy into another team like the Mets, who he's really he's been wanting to buy into them.
Yeah, but here's the deal: you don't have near the equity, the dollars that you get. Let's say you get $1.2 billion for the Rays, okay? And you don't want to put all of that into the Mets. You might only want to put half of that in. What you get for $500 million on the Mets is nothing compared to 100% ownership of the Rays. Considering he only paid how much for the Rays when he bought it from Vince Namoli? He paid $60 million for it. I mean, I don't know, man. The guy is just year in and year out cash checks for having small payrolls. Now, listen, to his credit, he has put the systems in place to put a competitive team on the field, and probably some of his money that he's made is because he takes a $60 and $70 million payroll team and makes it to the playoffs every year, the same amount, and the Red Sox and the Atlanta Braves, the same amount of money that they're spending $200 and $250 million to make the playoffs. Stu Stuenberg spending 65 and 70 million.
Can you imagine if he had that kind of salary on his team? If the Rays 1 year had like $150 million salary, they'd blow everyone out of the water.
So anyway, that's because
the Moneyball fails in the Moneyball, which is what they've been playing for the last 20 years, fails in the playoffs.
I'd love to see him. I'd love to see the league step in and make him sell. He's just not been good for. I mean, they're cheap. The Rays are cheap.
Yeah,
they're like, you know what? There's probably some AAA teams that treat their players and have better facilities. And I mean, the Tropicana Field, although I don't really feel it's that bad of a place to watch a game, the infrastructure and the facilities for the players suck.
I bet. And, I thought it was a decent stadium until I went to the Philadelphia Stadium, which blows it out of the water.
And I thought it was a decent stadium until I went to the Cardinal Stadium. I mean, remember when we were heard on what was it called? Was it called
St. Louis?
St. Louis. It was called, I forget what was it called.
90?
No, but it was called, it wasn't Florida Man Radio. It was like, not St. Louis Man Radio. But anyway, we were on some AM station in St. Louis for about a year. And the guy who owned the station had what would be equivalent to the Tampa Bay Rays home plate club seats. Mm-hmm. And Seth, have you ever enjoyed those before? The big black recliners behind home base?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I went with Russ once.
All right. So
it's awesome.
No, it's not.
You don't think?
No.
Compared to other teams, no.
Hold on. Let me let me finish my story. If you go to the Rays home plate club, you think, and you've never been to another one, you think it's pretty awesome.
Right.
You think, wow, I get to sit in this blue black recliner, really nice. It leans back. It's leather. I mean, I'm literally, 15 feet, 20 feet from home plate. I'm in the first or second row. I think there are only 5 or 6 rows of them. You have these two, by the way, they're twins. And they've been with the Rays since day one. You have these 2 twin waitresses, and they come up to you during the game, and they ask if you need anything. Hot dog, popcorn, soft drink, mixed drink, beer, peanuts, whatever. Whatever you want, they give it to you for free. For free. Now you give them a $5, or something like that every time they come and see you, but it's for free. Now prior to the game and during the game, they got this little. You go through this. You get out of your seat and you go through this tunnel, Lummy, which is right behind home plate, just this little tunnel, and you go to this room, and the room's about the size of this studio. That's about the size of it, and they got about 4 or 5 little round tables set up. And they have food in there too. They got a soft drink machine that you can serve yourself, like you're at the 7-Eleven. You can serve yourself. The ice spits out. You can get yourself a 7-Up or a Mountain Dew or a Coke or whatever the hell you want. And then there's a bartender in there, and they'll get you a drink if you like. And then they have like some type of like pulled pork or chicken or hot dogs or something. But it's literally, it looks like kind of like a roadside hot dog stand. Lummy, you've been there, right?
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes,
like
you are correct.
There's no, it's not fancy.
No, not at all.
No. Okay. So, but that's cool.
Right.
That's cool. So, when
that's all you know.
So when I was married with Heather, I'd call the Rays. I had this one connection. I'd be like, hey, can I get home plate tickets for this particular game? And they'd be like, no problem. They give them to me right away. And we take the kids there about an hour before the game. And eat some hot dogs and chicken fingers and some French fries. Then we would go sit down, and during the game we would get some snacks and stuff like that. And then and by the way, you get like kind of a way better parking spot. Dan, you get a way better parking spot than the average guy. So that's great. Like it's great. It's great. So I thought that's that's probably about the best it gets. You get in here, you go get into a little room, get some free stuff. Once you sit down, they'll bring you free stuff. Okay, that's cool. Then I go to Busch Stadium, which I think everybody that knows anything about baseball would agree. And Seth, I know that you're kind of a baseball historian where there's some really, really prestigious parks out there. Obviously, obviously where the Red Sox play. Obviously, the old Yankee Stadium. I heard the new one is real corporate and real luxury box and things like that, which it needs to be. Wrigley Field, Dodger Stadium. There's these old school venues that they have rehabbed to be better in today's corporate structure. But you got probably what? I'm trying to think, Lumby. What you probably have maybe 4 or 5 that will never ever be knocked down.
Yes.
Wrigley Field, Dodger Stadium, Fenway Park. I'm trying to think of any other ones.
Is the Yankee Stadium?
No, they've already knocked it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that's it.
Yeah,
because they're even thinking about knocking down Kansas City Stadium.
Yes.
So you got Wrigley Field, you got Fenway Park. And I don't know that the Dodger Stadium. I mean,
I could see him tearing down the Dodger Stadium.
Maybe. So you got basically 2 stadiums in the entire league that will never, ever, ever be torn down. Now I know they've taken Wrigley Field and they've really renovated it inside.
Oh, they gutted
the guts of it. Now outside, they still got the ivy. They still do the scoreboard by hand, just like Fenway. So aesthetically, if you were to watch it on TV, it really didn't look like they've changed that much. But in the guts, in the corridors of Wrigley, they've really, really upgraded it to be modern. So Busch Stadium, where the Cardinals play. If you're a baseball enthusiast, you know that's one of the crown jewels of Major League Baseball. It really is. And so my buddy at the time that I was working for on AM, whatever we were on, whatever AM station it was on, he had season tickets to what would be equivalent to the Rays home plate club. So he goes, so we pull in, and I'm not kidding you, his parking spot was from here to maybe the Bakemore Pies post mailbox to walking in. And so, and when you walk in, Lummy, if you're walking in this, I forget what it's called, Cardinals Club, I don't know what it's called, but they have your own door. You walk in, they sign you in, you have like a little card you show them. And then there's this restaurant that is the equivalent to Fleming's.
Oh.
It's a full-blown restaurant the size of Fleming's. And so everything's free. You walk up,
wow.
They have a carving station. You can order off the menu. You have your own waitress. You can order drinks. They have a big bar. There's all these TVs and the whole 9 yards. And then you walk out to to your seats. Seats are just like the Rays. You got first 5 or 6 rows with recliners, but the backdrop is the St. Louis Arch. And it's just
sounds
unbelievable. And I'm like, so when we're driving there, I tell the owner, I'd be like, yeah, I've been to the Rays home plate club. I'm sure it's real similar to what we're fixing. And he's like, no, it's not. He goes, I know a friend that goes to the Rays home plate club, and it's like a flea market compared to what we're getting ready to go to, and it was just unbelievable. It really was. So Stu Stuenberg, the owner of the Rays, I mean, he's got the. Does the city of does the city of St. Petersburg fix the stadium in order to play there 2 years? Do they move? Does he sell the team? Does he agree to the new stadium deal? I mean, I think Major League Baseball, Seth, is like over his indecisiveness because he's got 5 or 6 loose ends here that he needs to, quite frankly, tie up quickly, or Major League Baseball is in trouble here.
There's nothing to really tie up. This has been going on for about 20 plus years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a new ownership would come in and have a plan for a stadium right away, which means they would probably pay for it themselves.
Right. So anyway, Stu Stuenberg, look, now you got Major League Baseball and the commissioner stepping in, maybe pressuring you to sell the team. I think a DeBartolo ownership wouldn't be a bad thing. I think there's enough rich people in town. You get maybe like a Jeffrey Vinnick. There's enough between the Jable money and between the Outback. I mean, Dan, there's enough big, heavy hitters in this town to be able to buy that team.
Yeah, but I don't like when owners own a baseball team and a football team and a hockey team. I think that's gross.
Well, that's just the way it goes nowadays.
Not really.
Well, it looks like
there's
it is
not a
gonna
lot of
be-
people that own a football team and a baseball team.
It looks like DeBartolo is going to go with that Yankee guy, and they both are supposed to be the two majority owners.
That's who they might go with.
That's who they're partnering with. And that Jolly guy, he's from Tampa. He went to Tampa Catholic, so he's a local guy.
All right, so when I return, I got so I'm leaving Gainesville. It was a rain out on Saturday, and I'm leaving Gainesville a little bit early, and I'm listening to AM radio in my truck. I'm pulling my golf cart, and I'm listening to AM radio, just because I don't listen to regular. I'm sure all of us radio guys. I don't know. Maybe you guys listen to music just to enjoy yourself. Seth might, because he's got little Sammy there. But, if you're just by yourself, I try to listen to talk radio or something besides just your average top 40, adult contemporary, country, hip hop, R&B, radio.
So you're not singing Lizzo to the radio?
No,
you're not singing along in the car?
I don't listen to music stations. I try to find a talk station, and sometimes those talk stations are kind of up on some obscure AM station, and most of it's all syndicated. It's whether it's just most of it's syndicated. Whether it's the Glenn Beck deal, or it was the Dan Bonagino, which obviously he's now had to step back from, and I hear this preacher, and it's obviously a religious radio station, and it's on Gainesville, I don't know, 770 AM. I don't even know it. I should have written down what station it was, but it's coming in strong, so it's obviously probably local in Gainesville, and it really blew my mind on what they were talking. And I texted myself some notes because I wanted to bring it up with Dan, knowing that I had Dan here first thing Monday. And so they had it. Let me just set it up before I go into words, because I want to come back with it. But it's a preacher and another dude. And the other dude's just kind of handing softballs off to the preacher. And the preacher then gives you his opinion based on being a preacher, a man of God, a man of the Bible, a man that knows the Bible quite well, probably read it front to back 3 times. And it's talking about how your body is really God's body. And your body, you should never make any alterations to your body unless it's like a life-saving measure. But he specifically was talking about plastic surgery. And he was, and I'm turning to Merch Crick and saying, "Is this so you're going to take Christianity now, and you're going to subsect it down to where God owns my body, and I can't do with what I want to my body? And you're going to make me feel guilty because I want to, get some liposuction or some Botox or a new set of knockers for my wife or something, to that effect?"
I thought it's our body, but God, he owns our souls.
Yeah, well,
I thought we get to take these meat bags for a spin every day, free of charge.
Yeah, well, now they're saying God might want that meat bag.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm gonna get into that next, Dan, because I'm yelling at the radio. This guy's preaching. He's a full-blown, mega church preacher, and I'm like, is Christianity so hurting for new clients now that they got to spin this propaganda? And secondly, if anybody knows the Bible, I don't know, is there scripture that says what he's trying to say, where God owns your body?
I mean, I know that it says that, I think it's the Old Testament about, not marking up your body.
Tattoos. Jews don't like tattoos, right?
Yeah.
True, really,
Yeah, like tattoos and piercings and things along those lines.
But this guy was like, no, it's okay, if your child was born with a cleft palate, and it would be okay to repair, but it's not okay to, do other things. I'm like, man.
Oh, man, the fact that you brought up that huckster on the radio made me realize that Righteous Gemstones came back last night.
Oh, it did?
Oh, hell yeah. Can't wait to watch it today.
All right, so I'm gonna get into that next. I'm sure Dan has a whole plethora of opinions on it. We'll do it next. Also, Lummy, Anthony Cumia debuted his 77 WABC radio show last night, 8 to 10, and I wanted to know if you had any high spots on it. We got a 13-minute excerpt of it. If you could go through, I'm going to try to also go through and try to find some high spots on it as well. We had Anthony on Friday. Anthony, formerly from Opie and Anthony. I wouldn't say good friend of mine, but we're acquaintances. Yes, we were at each other's throat back in the day. We hated each other back in the day. We talked bad about each other back in the day. But that's all like so, I don't know, shock jockey back in the day. When really all of us shock jocks have been thrown on our ass. And had we known that we were going to get thrown on our ass, maybe we would have done things differently. And it certainly doesn't mean we can't be friends nowadays. I mean, like, how many times in your life were you, potentially didn't like a person in your younger age and went on to be potentially friends with them as you got older? So we'll look for that, as well. Stand by.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
I wonder if the DeBartolos will let me be the PA announcer.
Here, let me make sure we take out this trash today.
No problem.
Seth, I see you more of the guy that they throw it to in between innings, and you got a
Oh, the guy that's there with the fans and stuff.
hype
like
guy.
that? Oh, that's a shit job.
Well,
I'd rather be the mascot.
The big furry.
Raven?
I mean, it may take us some time to.
Yeah. You've got to be kidding me. Yes, the Anthony Cumia show. That's me, Anthony Cumia. We're back on broadcast radio. Who the hell saw this coming on that proverbial 2025 bingo card everyone's talking about? I sure didn't. I wasn't looking for a job. I was just doing what I did. My internet show, playing video games, lounging, a lot of sleep. And then I get a call from the wonderful people at WABC Radio in New York. And they'd like me to do radio, on-the-air broadcast radio. And I'm like, are they crazy? Is this a joke? I've been exiled from radio, persona non grata, as they say, for many, many years. And I certainly wasn't expecting to ever get that. I thought this was a life sentence when you're kicked off of broadcast radio. That seemed to be it. I was not looking for anything. There were little hopes. I would have hoped that somebody over the course of the years would have looked and said, "Hey, what's that Anthony?"
I don't have it.
Okay.
And, you mean my driver's license?
Yeah, do you know it off the top of your head? Can you text it
What
to
my
me?
name is?
Yeah, like your legal name.
Yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge Clem.
Okay, all right, perfect.
That's what it is. And if you need it, text Erica.
Okay.
She's upstairs filling merch, so she can. So if you physically need it,
I don't think we need a picture of it.
but if you do, just have her bring it right down to you.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
WABC. They're the station that did it. I got to, of course, thank John and Chad over there. And I would be remiss for not thanking, of course, Sid Rosenberg, the morning show, the flagship show at WABC in New York. I don't know how much he actually had to do with meeting with John and Chad and hashing things out. I know he said some nice things about me, but the real reason I got to thank him is I would have been the biggest piece of garbage at WABC if not for Sid. What I've done and said over the years that have made me persona non grata on radio and gotten people to say terrible things about me and probably prevented me from getting on radio all these years. Someone could just look and go, well, yeah, Anthony's record. Let's take a look here. Oh, boy. Oh, look at, oh, don't look at 2014. Don't do that. And then they go, wait. What are we worried about? We got this piece of garbage Sid Rosenberg working for us. How bad could Anthony be? He's a saint in comparison to Sid. So, Sid, thank you so much for being that guy. The guy with probably more baggage than I have. Sid knows I love him. I adore the guy. We've known each other for many years back at WNW in New York. Might be back in the 1900s, last century. Sid was doing the morning show over there.
I got 2 drops if you want them.
The Opie and Anthony show with afternoons. And
Some type of like K-Powers.
I like his opening.
Do you want he talks about Shock Jock at 6:30, and then 11:49. Cussing on terrestrial radio and how Trump can cuss and.
I know, but I kind of like his opening.
Okay. He was just talking about all the different shock jocks on one of them.
Did he talk about us?
I did not see us on there. He said Howard.
Bernie and Sid's show over at the other time.
I didn't listen to the full thing.
And I kind of got in the mood last night by listening to old pop.
Interaction is key. Interaction. Call now 813-90-BUBBA. Now back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Vicariously entertaining.
Thank you. Here we go.
Monday, March 10, the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Lummy, I think we've instilled into the fine people, by the way, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. You can also make it even quicker, simpler, and more of it goes to us, meaning most of those are like a 75-25 split. They take they got to take their vig. But BubbaArmyTips.com is a 90-10 split. So that's kind of cool. Let me, I got my I'm in charge of PayPal. Let me see here. Let me refresh, Willie. And let me, of course, big zeros right across the board.
No.
We had a good Bubba 199 on Friday. Ended up being kind of dirty with what we all wanted to do to Allie, Nikki Peel's wife, when she proclaimed that she'd like to have her vagina broken.
Yes.
Really?
That's what she said. Yeah, she said, I'd like to have my vagina broken. So that ended up into a whole discussion in itself. So let me, like I was going to say, I don't know that Dan's defeated, and I don't know that Tuttle's defeated, and I don't know that Brian's defeated, but I think Gene Lasker came in here like a wrecking ball and got to 1,000 likes in an hour and 4 minutes and 20 seconds, 7:04. 20 out of 1,000. That's Dan. Obviously, you've heard the news. That's why you don't have the strap. You lost the strap to Gene. I'm assuming you knew that.
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday.
Yeah. Well, did it up? Oh, now when you said you heard about it yesterday, can you tell us how you heard about it?
Yeah, I like to get show prep and talk to Lummy before the show on Sundays. We often chat for a moment.
Okay.
Just to get caught up, to make sure I didn't miss anything that was substantive.
Dan, I just want to let you know before I let you go. Everything's great. All your ideas are good. We're going to talk about some stuff. Oh, by the way, Gene has a strap now. I don't know how it happened, but he has a strap now.
Gene actually called me too. He didn't tell me he had the strap, but he called me to apologize.
Let me tell you something there, doctor, buddy. You ain't got the hardware no more. You might still got the Ferrari and the Lambo, but I got the hardware, buddy.
That's not all what he said. Okay. He said, just don't be upset by what I said if you listen to the show. So I chose not to.
I don't even know what he said.
Well, I mean, it was all just talking a bunch of smack. It's just radio talk. Again, I'm not upset. Okay. I like the strap, but I'm not going to cry over it. I mean,
I understand. He won it fair and square.
Smoked it. Yeah, he fair and square, but he also had the banner at the beginning and probably didn't open with 30 minutes of baseball. But it's okay. It's all good.
Well, yeah.
And the other thing is, I wish Seth would send me show prep if he has show prep over the weekend. Sometimes he distributes that to you guys, and I don't get it. I would love to get that, Seth.
Okay, no problem.
He'll include you. Not a big deal.
And don't forget, Gene hit 2,000.
We don't get to most of it anyway. So
Gene hit 2,000
and
too.
Then Gene hit 2,000 at 9:50 and 32 seconds. So like 10 minutes before the show was over, he smoked $2,000. Like he was just on it. So. He's
entertaining.
He is very entertaining. The fans love him. Lummy, I don't want to make the show a big constant begging for thumbs up. So maybe Red and Macho Man can just every once in a while. Right? Well, here they have it on there right now. Hit the thumbs up. Also go to BubArmyTips.com to tip the show. So I think, Lummy, it's pretty much a given that we're going to hit 1,000 thumbs up. And so I don't going to think we got to sit here and make a bunch of programming about thumbs up. I think the fans are now conditioned. When if we do happen to see it lagging today, like Lummy, if we see it drop below 50%, then we might want to start
talking about it,
hollering at them. But like right now, we're like at what? We're right at 50%.
Yeah.
Are we not?
Yeah.
Are we not? Let me see.
We got 470.
You're a little above it.
Yeah, so we got 891 watching, and we're 467 on the thumb. So there you go. 900 on the watch and 470. Yeah, so we're right at 48, 49% on the thumb and up. If you have an opportunity to give us a thumbs up, it helps the algorithm. And we've established, potentially plateaus, Lummy, that quite frankly, we're just going to sit here and beg all morning for thumbs up and what have you, which I don't think makes for the best programming. And, maybe Gene's record will never be broken. I don't know. Brian may come in here and be able to do something different. I don't know. So I was talking about this AM radio station that I was listening to in Gainesville, and this preacher, this pastor of a mega church was talking about how God owns your body. Well, first of all, if we just want to dissect that, do we even know that there's a God?
Well, let's just assume that there is, okay?
No,
because without that, none of this makes sense.
I understand that. So what I'm saying is, like, we're 50-50 at best on whether that template of belief even exists, right?
Yes.
So then when you take that, and then you go, okay, I believe in God.
Okay.
I believe in God. And it's my template and it's my belief in God that steers me through life in a positive direction.
But there's another leap of faith.
Okay, what's that?
Do you believe that the Old Testament and or the New Testament is truly the, quote, Word of God? And so do you think it's something that absolutely needs to be followed to the T? Because if you look at the Old Testament, specifically Leviticus, which talks about, the tattooing and stuff, it also tells you not to sleep with your slave. And it also tells you not to wear clothing made of two kinds of material. So every guy that's wearing a polyester blend is a sinner. Wow. And anyone that cuts their beard or the sides of their hair is a sinner. And if you drill your slave before she's married, you're a sinner.
What I'm saying is
it's effed up.
That's where I roll back my original sentence. There are so many hypocrisies involved in this template of belief that I think that when you drill down on it, it makes it virtually impossible to follow it to the letter or to the T. And so there's so many fragmentations of interpretation of that particular book, or in your case, two different versions of that book, an Old and a New Testament. I mean, there's just so many different whodunits within the religious structure that you virtually cannot follow it, but to the letter of the way it was written. It's impossible, even for the most religious. I want to follow the Bible to the letter. You first of all have to believe in the fact that whether you're going to pick, there's an old and a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to pick that. All right. Then within that, you have to. There's things, Dan, right now that preachers, the men of God and the women of God, the people of God, the people that preach their words, they can't abide by the book.
Oh, there's a big chunk of preachers that are ripping people off, that are touching little kids, and that are complete hypocrites of what they're telling everyone else to do.
So I'm listening to this preacher, and he's a man of God, and he says, listen, here's the bottom line is you cannot, and they specifically, it's like almost it was like he was trying to talk bad about plastic surgery, because some of the things that he brought up were these are here's 3 or 4 topics he brought up: Botox, okay, lip filler, liposuction, and boob jobs. And I'm thinking, man, the God that I really don't know, but the God that I've been told exists, the last things on his mind is that. He wants you to use this book or books, multiple books, to use as a guide to be a good person, to do the right thing, to help people, to have a good heart and soul, and to not swindle people, and to work hard, and to make an honest living, and to not cheat on your wife or husband, and to be a good father, and to be a good leader, and to be self-sufficient, and to be able to pay your own way and stuff. Though, and when life is tough and you've lost your mom, or you've lost your dad, or even your son, in the most tragic type way, that you have a template of belief or to guide yourself through the hardest of times. That's what religion is. Absolutely. And when you're a guy that's on the radio, that's a man of God, that's a preacher, that's an esteemed preacher of a mega church, and you're breaking this up to plastic surgery, I don't get it. That's the last thing, in my opinion, the God that I don't necessarily worship, the God that I don't necessarily believe in, the God that this is why I have a hard time sometimes making that leap of faith to I'm all in on religion. Because they just when you are doing the right thing, you love your wife, you love your kids, you're making a living, and now I can't get Botox? Come on.
It's hypocrisy, Bubba.
I think it was a reach. I think he was reading Corinthians in the New Testament, where I think God says your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and that He paid an ultimate price for
all right,
your
you know
body.
what, God?
You can't rebuild the temple.
Hey, God,
I mean, you can't renovate
I'm just.
Hey, God, if you exist and my body is yours, then why are you making me a fat ass? Why are you making me fat? Well, if I'm a good dude, well, maybe that's because I'm not a good dude, and I don't go all in on the God deal. So God's gonna say, I'm gonna cast a spell on you to be a fat ass.
There's a lot of plump people that are very religious.
So I'm just saying, I'm listening to this AM preacher dude talking about. I mean, he's even fragmented down to lip fillers. He goes, I look at my congregation sometimes and I see women that have done things to their body that God wouldn't agree with. And then he said, and now I'm not talking about, because a caller called in and try to get him and be like, well, listen, my aunt's little child was born with a cleft palate. And within, like I forget how, when the baby was very young, they had fixed it. They had taken it into surgery and fixed it the best they could so that it looks pretty normal now. He's like, well, in that situation, God doesn't have a problem with you fixing a potential at birth issue. God,
there's a hypocrisy, Bubba, because
I'm like thinking, okay, well, hold on now.
Fat's an issue.
Yeah, fat's an issue.
Short's an issue.
What if my fatness is choking my heart down to 0, which causes me to die?
Right.
That's the same as that kid who's got that cleft palate.
Exactly.
Which at the end of the day, the cleft palate's not going to kill you.
Nope.
It just aesthetically looks horrible.
Right.
So now we're talking about aesthetics. Well, that's the woman who got the new lips. That's the woman who got the Botox. That's the woman who got the new knockers.
And that's the kid that got his cleft lip fixed.
And that's the kid who got his cleft lip fixed. For real.
If everyone's an image of God, then everyone's arguably perfect, and no one would look absolutely abnormal. And so that's absolutely inconsistent with reality.
And I want to throw this out there. If the Bible is so all that in a bag of chips, why didn't they make Jesus, why did they make him perfect? Why didn't they make him a little fat? Why did they make you never see any depiction of Jesus as being anything other than just perfect?
There were a lot of fat people back then, Bob, because they were all like 2 minutes away from starvation.
Oh, okay.
It's not like America today where everyone's 100 pounds overweight.
You can go get some Pringles.
They were pretty skinny.
You can go get some Pringles. They didn't have Pringles back then.
No,
I don't think they had Ubers and Hot Pockets back then at all. So I think that's probably
they were walking evereverhere.
Yeah.
No Twinkies or Ding Dongs.
Yeah, nothing with any preservatives.
And Bubba, if a person really wanted to be a man of God, he would also reject all material things like the Franciscan priests do, and he'd walk around with sandals and a robe made out of one material, because if you mix materials, it's also a sin according to the same line of reasoning that this guy's trying to follow.
Hello,
hypocrites.
Who's this?
Hey, Bubba, it's Dave West Palm.
Hi, Dave West Palm. Usually some good questions or rhetoric out of your hole. What's going on, buddy?
Bring some good prep.
Well, I don't know if this is going to gel with your Bible talk, but I did have over the weekend. I did watch that mother-daughter thing that you said on Friday. That mother-daughter pregnant deal.
Mother-daughter.
Yeah, the guy that banged the mom and the daughter.
Oh, yeah. I had a story. The African American man who had a mother-daughter combination that he supposedly got pregnant, got them both pregnant. They have an OnlyFans and a YouTube, and the daughter was quite frankly pretty attractive. The mom, So did you dive into it a little bit more and peel that onion back? Then you might have some more information for me.
I peeled it back in terms of I watched a couple of of her videos, and it's quite disturbing. I mean, there's one, and I'll make this clinical because I don't want to get you kicked off. But there was one video where her and her mom were masturbating together, which that's really disturbing. And I was like, oh, I can't. I had to shut it off. I'm like, no, this is way too. I felt icky.
You didn't masturbate with your dad as a kid?
No.
Let's have a contest.
My God, Dan, would you masturbate with little Danny?
No, God,
okay,
no.
That's what I'm saying.
That's weird. It's disturbing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
God, I can't think of anything more disturbing than running one with my dad.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, your dad's got a bigger one than you, and he's just got a whole better presentation. You're over there tinky winky. You didn't.
Your dad penis shames you.
Your dad. You didn't inherit your dad's large penis genes, and you got your uncle's tinky winky Willie over there, and then your dad, cuts a promo on you. Man, look at you over there, tinky winky, buddy.
I know. I'm not the only Bubba Army member that did it. I mean, there had to have been others that kind of were curious that went on there. But anyway, I'll let you guys go.
Appreciate it, Dave.
Dave
from
West Palm.
From West Palm. 813-90 Bubba. Hello.
Hey, Clem.
Is this a problem?
It's Charlie.
Potential. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. You're on a short leash, Charlie.
Listen, I saw your interview with Anthony Cumia.
Yeah.
It was a great interview.
Well, thank you, Charlie. And by all accounts, it sounds like Anthony had a good first show. We're going to try to break it down a little bit here. And hopefully Anthony continues to kill it. at 77 WABC. He somewhat represents what I'm going through a little bit. So thank you for that, Charlie.
So can I ask you one question?
Sure.
I want to start fresh with you. Can you please give me the opportunity to maybe do one Friday show?
Well, Charlie, here's the thing. We've never heard, and Seth, step in. If you, I mean, are you talking about like being on this show, or are you talking about doing a podcast?
You tell me. Maybe with one of your associates on your show, or give me the opportunity to do your show. You tell me.
That's not going to happen. But what you could do is you could whip together a podcast. Seth could listen to it. If Seth deemed it somewhat entertaining and it was formatted and functioned correctly, or it seemed to fit with what he was potentially looking for, after listening to it, he could make that determination if he'd want to plug it in. But that's how we'd have to start that process.
Instead of wasting Seth's time.
So can I be honest with you?
So let me was going to say something earlier.
Oh, I was going to say, instead of wasting, if he wants to turn that in, I was talking with Seth about it, and we can, I can listen to it, or we can put it up on Bubba Army HQ sometime on a Sunday night or something, and let the fans listen to it and judge it.
We can put it up on Bubba Army HQ and let the fans truly, vote for it, or listen to it, if you will, and then take it from there. If it knocked it out of the park and the Charlie Show did well, then we could potentially talk about other Charlie possibilities. Now that in itself, Charlie, is pretty open-minded on my end. You've been very much a critic of mine. You and I, you've always ball busted me and tried to tear me down to zero, and here I am trying to take the high road to give you an opportunity and a stage in my world. So put together something.
What would your podcast be about? Like, what would your topic be? Like, what do you have a fund of knowledge in?
I would have multiple topics for my podcast, but I would like to have someone with that podcast. I mean, I guess I could go online and say, listen, I'm a magnificent individual. Listen to me solely, but I'd like to incorporate someone with me.
Well, Charlie, do you have any friends?
Mm-mm.
No, I mean, no. Maybe Lemmy, or maybe one of the
No. It's not going to be. It's not going to be any of my guys. It's not going to be. That's not. It's
all
not,
right.
No. But listen, Charlie. I just got to establish some rules here. It's just not going to be any of my guys, because I don't think any of my guys really want to do it with you. And me making them do it with you, or asking them to do it with you, then they would say no. Well, first of all, here let me just say this: if there's anybody on my staff that really would like to do a podcast with Charlie, can you please let it be known? Then, let me, because, maybe Rhett, maybe Macho Man, maybe Gary Cantrell, maybe 7-Eleven. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody that wants to do it with Gary. I'm betting that there's not. So at that point, Charlie, I'm sure, Charlie, you have some friends in life, don't you?
You know what? Nobody that could hold their own with me to do a podcast. So let me. You guys are on Reddit, right? You've got the Bubba Army on Reddit, correct?
There is a Bubba Army on Reddit. We don't try to go to it.
No, actually, there's some very positive things about you guys online.
Sure.
There's some things about you that I don't like, but I do think that you are a solid terrestrial, normal radio podcaster. You're a strong radio personality.
Well,
so maybe I could be a part of something.
Well, you know what?
On your entity.
Hopefully not.
I'll tell you this, Gary. since you mentioned it, why don't you get up there on Reddit in the Bubba Army subsection and ask for tell them, hey, I don't know if any of you guys. Well, first of all, they listen to every second of the show. So say, listen, I'm sure all you guys heard today. Bubba is letting me do kind of a trial show that they're going to put up on Bubba Army HQ. Is there anybody in here that would like to do it with me? Then that might be an interesting dynamic,
No, I'm actually on Reddit. I've been kicked out of every forum. I think it's Charlie something. I think if you go to your subreddit and they type in the keyword Charlie, I've been kicked out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Charlie.
Listen, I am a fan of yours. I don't like a lot of things about you, but there are some things that I do like about you. I do think that you are.
Well, then, Charlie, here's the deal, Charlie. I don't think you necessarily need a co-host to run through that particular format. Hi, it's Gary. You all know me. I call in. I usually say things about that I don't like, Bubba. And here's the things that I don't like about him. And then boom, that's just all. You don't need a co-host for that. And you run through the how many things I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. But if I was to be honest with people and be transparent and not just be this hating troll, here are some of the things that I find endearing about Bubba and his show. Don't make it about me. Make it about the show. Because I'm only a part of the show. And yes, the show's named after me. Dan has a large part. Seth and Lummy are in here 5 days a week with me. Lasker's in here a day. Baby's in here a day. Jay's in here 2. Tuttle's in here 1. Rhett and Macho behind the glass. Gary as well. So globally, don't make it necessarily personally about what you don't like about me and do like about me. Globally, make it about the show, because that's what we present to the public every day is our program. I don't present me as an individual necessarily. Why don't you make it a show thing? Here's the things I like about the show, and here's the things I don't like.
Austin Wolf
with $100.
Snipe.
All right, well, Gary, listen, you've been sniped, but you do know, where we stand. Put together a pro and con show about our show. Get it to Lummy. Lummy will get it posted up on Bubba Army HQ, and we'll take it from there.
And you can masturbate to the 15 downloads.
Dan, you didn't need. We're not trying to go there.
Okay.
Stop.
Can I say one last thing?
What?
First of all, congratulations. You just got a $100, I guess what's a so-called donation. That is awesome.
Well, thank you. Is that coming from you, or is that the one you just saw online?
No. I'm following your chat room. Somebody just gave you $100. Austin Wolf.
Yeah, we just
$100.
We just said that, Gary. Gary, I gotta let you go. You know what the rules are. You know where
Can I say one last thing?
One last thing. Yes.
Okay, so I've called into your show for the last year or so. Do you think that I have potential to be a quality podcaster online or on your network?
I think, Charlie, I think that you have a small it factor, and that if you channeled your talent correctly, it could be good. You're not, you know your way around the English language. You don't fumble and bumble around. You seem educated and well spoken. And if you channeled that into a good thing, I think
Bubba,
that
all he says is, "Can I ask one more question?" And I don't like your show, Clem. That's all he says.
No. Actually, can I say one?
Did he get sniped? Why are we still talking this jackass? We got sniped.
All right. No. Here's the last thing that I want to say. Hey, can I say the last thing?
Sure.
You telling me that? I know I call in, I troll you guys. You get the last 3 people, the 3 people in your cast. They say Charlie's an idiot. I actually respect you for saying that to me. I'm going to take your words.
I've been doing this. Listen, I'm not trying to say anything bad about my guys, but listen. I've been doing this long enough to know when a guy is could potentially be a good communicator, and you could potentially be a good communicator. It's just how you direct your energy and what you're speaking about. There you go, Charlie. That's all I have for you. I just hung up on you. Goodbye. You were sniped. Not trying to be disrespectful. Charlie, you got some chops. You got some chops. Now, whether you can put that all together into something that is listenable for 45 minutes, Charlie, let me give you just a few few tips. And this is open to everybody, especially Seth. And that is, Charlie, people make often a mistake when you're doing, and I think, Seth, we're talking about the format of a podcast here. I think we're talking about that. which is way different than live spoken radio. That could potentially, live spoken radio could go in 30 and 45-minute sections in itself within a 4-hour program. But podcasting tends to be a little bit quicker, and the best shows usually are between 30 and 45 minutes long. Seth, I kind of need you to help me validate that, because this is kind of a little bit more your area than mine, but it's been my understanding that 30 to 45 minute shows within podcasting is about what the attention level of is with regards to that world.
Yes, normally this audience seems to want podcasts a little bit longer, so I'd probably say 45 minutes to an hour, I think is best for this audience, but I don't think this guy has 4 minutes in him.
Perfect.
4 minutes.
Perfect.
I don't think he has 4 in him.
But Charlie, if you had 4 minutes and you could make that 45, and you could write your notes, write what you want to talk about, don't get any down any lost rabbit holes, and have some structure to what you want to talk about, I believe potentially you could come up with something that would be enjoyable. There's a lot of people pulling against you, and I'm trying to give you an opportunity, my friend. When I come back, I want to talk about the Anthony Cumia debuts on 77 WABC last night, and then I want to talk about the Tim. I'm leaving today to go do the Tim Pool show, and I'll be on the Tim Pool show tomorrow night, I think at 8:00.
Are you going to bring up your pastor talk with him?
No.
He's a big Christian. That's why I was going to.
Is he a big Christian?
Yeah.
I don't have any idea. Now, I've watched a little Tim Pool, and sometimes it's him and one other dude, and then sometimes it's him and like 4 other dudes. So I don't have.
Same like here, Bubba. We mix it up every day.
Right. I don't have any idea what it is. I do have a question for you that I need you to answer so I don't look like that guy. That douchebag. Because there's something that I want to do that, because I'm a broadcaster of 40 years, means a lot to me. But I don't have to do it. But I need to. I'd like to do this, but when I do this, it'll be right before air. There's something that I want to do, and I don't know how it would be received. I don't think it's a big deal at all, but it's something that I want to ask your opinion of. We'll do that, and Anthony Cumia's debut on 77 WABC last night. Anthony's spot looks like it's going to be Sundays 8 to 10. You can go get the 77 WABC app and listen.
Bubba, I was going to, you said, you can stay on Friday or you can go, I'm just going to talk to Anthony, I'm just going to do a half an hour. You did 2 hours with him.
I know.
Yeah, kept going.
You would have been, and here's the deal. I was such a visionary because you would have hung in there good for 30 or 45, but then you would have started getting jittery and moving all around and like not wanting to be there. And I
wouldn't have been able to leave. I don't think I would have been able to leave once it started.
So I think I was quite the visionary in the fact that you would be more comfortable, because it was truly kind of a reminiscing thing.
No, we never had their show down here. I never was exposed to them. I mean, I've obviously heard of them, but I wouldn't have anything to ask Anthony, or Opie, who you talked to, so again, sorry. Anthony, sorry.
Yeah, both.
My bad.
No problem. 813-90, Bubba, there's a few phone lines going on.
Who wants a podcast? Call now.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
I the truth. I mean, Clyde was from Rack.
Danny, how you holding up, bud?
I'm good, thanks.
Good.
I have no choice but to be.
You're gonna be good.
Huh?
You're gonna be good when it all shakes out.
No, God.
Oh, man. Oh.
What's up, Super John? I can only leave where it says.
Highway 73. Blips. Jayfish. Slayer.
When you stop and go, Steve.
Blips. Create a team.
Oh, Adam Schefter tweeted 1 minute ago, Aaron Rodgers has emerged as a quarterback option in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Iggy.
But didn't they just re-sign
They haven't signed anybody.
But they had your guy, Fields.
They said they wanted him, but I guess the Jets want him also.
Josh Allen signed a big contract yesterday.
Yeah.
$250 guaranteed.
Yeah. They said he left money on the table to help his team.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him.
Great guy.
I'm not getting accused of putting trash anywhere. Oh, yeah. Look for reacted to the smell. Oh, bullshit.
Man, Steelers might want to just try to get Big Ben out of retirement. I saw him chucking the ball with his kids. I think he could be in.
I think he could still fucking roll. If you give him some protection, I think he could still huck it.
Yeah, he could lead a run-heavy offense.
I think he could lead a play action. You know, seven. You know, in shot. He has to be in shotgun.
Oh, of course, yeah. You see Garrett Cole's getting Tommy John, Lummy?
Yeah.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
So I'm leaving today to go to Washington, D.C. Did you see there was another plane crash in Pennsylvania last night?
Yeah, a little, 5 people?
This is a little one, but still, I'm flying into the airport where the Black Hawk helicopter hit the American Airlines 19er 49er. Phew. Don't think I'm not going to be, not that me back in 28A is going to be able to help, do anything.
Crawl into the cockpit.
Look at that helicopter over there. Hit my button. Hello, Mr. Clem. How can I help you? There's a helicopter 200 feet from our wings right now. Can we make sure the boys up front know about it?
Yeah, they should have those little wires like they used to have on the buses where it's like near your stop, you pull the wire.
Yeah.
Just like let the guy know, hey, there's a plane off to the starboard side.
So here's my not my conundrum, but my question to all of you in the studio. And that is, so I've been watching the Tim Pool show and stuff, and it looks like they just got kind of a standard, 4-position studio kind of deal. Looks like they're talking on the standard Shure podcasting mic. Would it be douchebag? You guys know, and for the most part, they use the same headphones that Seth uses. Those standard Sony headphones. That's what the majority of the industry uses. Well, I don't like those headphones. I just don't like them. And the headphones that I use, the MDV R600s, I've had to go back and go to eBay and buy a couple. I have 2 extra pair, and I also have parts for, because they don't make them anymore. They just simply don't make them.
Is it Sony?
Yeah, they're Sony.
It's just a different version of the Sony?
It's a fatter, bigger version of what Seth has. They make them now thinner and more more whatever the hell that word.
Streamlined.
Yeah. Mine are a little fatter and bulky, but these are the only kind that I like. I can talk on another pair of headphones.
You just sold $10 on the Super Chat.
So my question would be, this goes to Seth Lummy. Would it be a douchebag move if I brought my own headphones?
No,
like
I don't think so.
Seth, we're getting ready to, I'm gonna have a backpack with me, and we're getting ready to go on the air. If I was to just break out my own headphones, and disconnect theirs and plug mine in, or should I just suck it up and use theirs?
I'd bring your own.
Kush, over to you.
Oh, man.
I'm feeling like you're feeling it's douchebaggy. So yes, that's not why that's why you're not piping
it's
in.
It's honestly not anything that's ever crossed my mind in any scenario, and I've thought about a lot of things in my life that are never going to happen. I don't know, Bubba. I don't know, Tim. Like, I don't think it's any issue. Again, if somebody came in here and had their own headphones, I don't think that would be a massive deal, especially if they were some sort of artist that has things in their ear for a living. But again, that's never happened before. So
see, I'm wanting to agree with you is the fact that I've a 40-year veteran of this genre, if you will. And, I'm particular about my headphones. I like to use my headphones. And so since it's not a really big ordeal, and it doesn't require a ton of engineering, and it literally just requires for me to unplug theirs and plug mine in, and it's not a big deal, I got to think that they wouldn't have a problem with it. Dan, what were you going to say?
I think, having your own headphones, like Seth said, someone that has to listen to things for a living, and sometimes people have a lot of customization with how they hear things. I don't think that's inappropriate. I think bringing your own mic would be a little bit more douchey because then they'd have to mess with the processing.
I'm not going to do that.
And the mic 4 is open, by the way. You should have mic 4 on. I don't know if you want that on or not.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah.
I don't think anyone would care.
Lummy?
Oh, I think you should bring your own headphones. I mean, I've seen his podcasts where he doesn't even have people wearing headphones. So
he'd be the only guy with headphones on.
No,
I'm not going to be that guy. I mean, if they're going headphoneless, if they're just talking with no headphones, which some podcasts do, then I won't have headphones. But if they have headphones, if they use headphones, let me maybe pull up a current. Maybe the latest issue of. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be on Tim Pool or Tim Pool IRL. I don't know. I know what time they're picking me up from the hotel, and I know what time they're taking me back. I'm going to be there about 3 total hours.
Woo.
By the time I think they want you there like 45 minutes and sitting in the green room and what have you. And then the show starts at, and by the way, I'm not big on military time, and all of Tim Pool's producers' correspondence with me has been military time.
Oh.
What is it? Is it 20?
So, yeah, it starts at 20. And they want me there at 18:50.
An hour plus early?
An hour 10 early.
Yeah, plenty of time to plug in your microphone and your headphones.
I'm not plugging in my microphone. So maybe you could pull up the latest.
I've sent you one where he's talking to just one person, which the guy's wearing headphones, and then I'm sending you another one where the guys aren't wearing headphones, and that one's 4 or 5 days old.
Let me see here. Lummy, boom.
So same both scenarios.
Let me see here. Boom. All right, see, now this guy doesn't have headphones.
But Tim's wearing the headphones too. So
for all hell to break loose, like people are still going to gravitate towards structure because the human mind desires structure.
So Islam is projected to be the fastest growing religion in the United States as Christianity declines.
And that's a huge problem.
That is a fucking huge problem.
And why are we seeing that? Because we can see in real time what secularism.
So, Lummy, did you send another one then?
Yes, it was the one right above it. It's one where he's talking to an older gentleman with headphones on.
All right, let me see here. Now, which one's newer?
The old man one. That one got released 6 days ago. The old man.
You have this narrative that's built up and supported.
I'm trying to look at what kind of headphones those are.
It persists long.
Those are way too big for me.
After the actual data are out there.
It actually looks like he's got some pretty nice damn Macho Man, your mic's on. What kind of headphones are those?
He's got a white liner.
Fisher Price.
I don't know what kind of headphones those are, but those are nice ass headphones. Maybe I'll bring my headphones in
Exposure.
and they'll be.
Why would Wikipedia put an op-ed as a scientific citation?
Yeah, see, it looks like, Lummy, that he has the headphones that he wears and the headphones that his guests wear
are the same.
Are pretty nice. So maybe I don't even.
They're big ones.
Yeah, and they're big ones the way that I like them. So I don't know. I need a ruling from you guys, and it can't be a Seth Kushner ruling where it's right down the middle and he doesn't really give me an answer.
All right, I say no then.
The mainstream is.
Okay.
I say you bring them, Bubba, just in case you don't like their headphones.
Well, here's the deal. I can bring them. I'm gonna bring one of my Bubba Army backpacks, Lummy, which I'll have down by my feet, which they won't see. Because I'm gonna bring Tim a cap, a Bubba Army beanie, and I can have my headphones in there, maybe a bottle of water or something like that. And, I can always have my headphones in there, look at their headphones, see how they sound. And if I don't like the way they sound, I'll be like, hey, listen, I have my own headphones. Can I plug my own headphones in? Something like that. So, but it looks like it really does look like he's got good headphones. So there you go. I mean, and let me, it's not going to take up, it's not the fact. Listen. I'm Johnny. Dan's probably way different the way he travels. Dan will bring a couple pairs of shoes. Dan will bring a couple different outfits. Dan will bring a couple nice dress shirts, couple different pairs of slacks, maybe a different belt to match a different deal. Do you know what I'm doing, Lummy? This is how I do it. The outfit that I wear up there will be the outfit that I wear home.
Gross.
Okay. Less new underwear and socks.
Nice.
So I'm bringing I'm bringing 2 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of socks. I'm bringing the outfit that I'm going to wear on his show, toothpaste, toothbrush, hair gel, a beanie for him, and my headphones.
Ass wipes?
And maybe some ass wipes because I'm not going to have my bidet. Literally, Lummy, I could pack everything I'm going to take. Now, I don't even need a roll-on. I just need a backpack.
Congressman with $20 on the Rumble, and Macho Man's mic's off.
Oh no, Macho Man's mic is not off.
Those headphones, you probably won't like them.
I'm sorry, was that?
They're Audio Technica headphones with special earmuffs on them. So they're probably going to sound completely different than what you're used to. So I would take your own headphones for sure.
Okay, perfect. And here's the deal, Seth, there's a chance that maybe it makes me look like, cool guy. There's also a chance it makes me look like douche guy. I mean, I got to take that chance, right?
I mean, I don't think you have to, but it seems like you're ready.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so Lummy, I'm taking one pair of long pants.
Nice.
I'm taking one Bubba Army polo, button-up polo that's got the logo. I'm taking a Bubba Army sweatshirt. I'm wearing literally what I'm wearing right now is what I'm wearing on the plane.
There you go. And
then when I come back on Wednesday, less new underwear and socks, I'm wearing this back home. So, that's how, I mean...
Why would you wear the same shirt twice, Bubba? Why not just throw another shirt in your backpack? It just. Why would you recycle an outfit that you wore to a disgusting, filthy airport? Airports are as gross as anything else out there. There's so many people that go through that. They're all filthy. There's international viruses you're getting from all kinds of places you're not used to. Airports suck. And that's the one thing that, after I do stuff, I'm not really weird about being clean. But as soon as I get back from an airport, the first thing I do is shower because they're filthy.
Well, no, think as soon as I get...
I agree. That was very well said.
As soon as I get to my hotel... I'm going to take a shower.
Yeah, but then you're going to put that dirty-ass shirt back on the next day on your way home. Get a second shirt, man.
All right. So I'll bring another shirt and another pair of shorts.
Thank you.
That doesn't take nothing.
No, it doesn't.
So I'll do that. I'll do that.
Superior.
Yes. I'll do that, Danny. That's traveling really light.
Oh, yeah.
There's one other thing that I have to include that I cannot travel without, and that's my butt pillow. So... leave today. I was thinking about maybe I don't want to be that guy and be a problem because they got everything booked. I've already checked into my airline and everything. But I was thinking about seeing if I could get out of there earlier on Wednesday because they got me getting out about 1:00.
Oh.
And getting home at 4.
See if you can move it to the morning.
See if I could move it to earliest known to man. 6.
I don't see why that. Well, I guess I just want to see why it's a problem.
Tell them you'll pay the difference.
No. I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay that. I'm actually gonna walk up. Because I got tons of time, Seth. Because listen, I don't tape till tomorrow, and they got me getting there today. And I'm sure they do that in case of a guest has travel issues or weather issues or something like that. They'll give you all sports teams always fly in a day before just to give you that buffer of something that could potentially happen. So, Seth, when I land in D.C., I could probably go to the ticket counter. I don't want to say what airline I'm flying, but go to my ticket counter and say, hey, can I change my ticket for Wednesday and I pay the difference right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't even run it through the Tim Pool people. I just literally go to the ticket counter because today, Dan, I land at 3 and I don't have anything because my Secret Service guy, Lummy, lives in D.C., and my hotel's an hour away. So that kind of put a damper on what we were going to do today. So literally, I'm going to get to the hotel about 4:30, and I have nothing to do.
What's the weather like right now?
And the show's tomorrow night?
And the show's tomorrow night.
But here's the problem, Bubba. What if you fly in tomorrow and the flight gets delayed, or there's a weather problem, or something like that?
There's no weather problem. I've checked. I've checked. There's sunshine, low 43, high 68 on both days. There's not even any rain. So what I'm saying, Seth, so if I land today, I'm not necessarily having to bust ass to get anywhere, and I can take all the time I want. So stop by the ticket counter of the airline that I'm flying and say, hey, listen, I'm flying out tomorrow and I'm scheduled to leave at 12:35, but can I move that ticket up to the first available, whatever. But you know what, Lummy, that might be the only nonstop they have to Tampa.
That's true too. I would think they would have more.
I'll check online
from Washington
to see if they have more. And then, Seth, get it handled right there with my credit card So Tim Pool's people only care about you getting here. They don't care about when you leave, as long as they're going to kick you out of your hotel room when you're scheduled to leave.
What if you did such a good job? Tim wanted to have lunch with you on Wednesday before you go. And you already.
Like, man, Tim. Why don't you have me back for my documentary? That's what I'd say.
There you go.
So, Lummy, I got to tell you right now, this little fat son of a bitch.
Your buddy.
No, yeah, the Risonator. This fat kid who basically just scratches his chin and acts like a fat little smartass. I hope to God this has a 15-minute shelf life.
I think it's going on a year.
Has it been going on a year? And what are his social numbers like? Huge.
Oh, he gained attention in 2023.
Now, is he from New York?
New Jersey.
And the LA Kings flew him out to be the guy that does his special little move? Are you kidding me?
He might have already been in LA. I don't know if
he probably was, and they just routed him. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, his thing now is pretty much. I'd imagine he goes to school during the week, so.
I hope so.
I think that he just does a ton of things during the weekend.
You think maybe like he was on Fallon or on something like that, and then the Kings just follow it up because he was in town and he's doing his LA junket, so he's going to try to do as many LA things as he could potentially be.
Yeah.
He has a deal with the Paul brothers, so maybe he was out there doing that. His YouTube numbers 2.93 thousand subscribers.
293,000?
2.93.
So 2,093?
Yes.
Okay.
He has 1.6 million on TikTok.
He's talking about millions, not thousands, right?
We don't know.
2.6 million followers or 2.6 thousand followers?
2,930 subscribers on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah, see, people on YouTube don't want to see some fat little triple-chinned 10-year-old acting like he's all that.
Up to stage 308 we go, Kings fans. Please welcome social media sensation.
All right, social media sensation.
You're jealous.
Yeah, no, I'm not jealous, Dan. I'm disgusted that you can sit back here, with a building and a staff and and talented people that do content for a living. And you know what? Really, all I needed was Seth just to be scratching his chin and put his little finger up there. That's it. Or Sammy or Walker or anything. And they blow us out of the water. We sit in here and bust our ass for however many hours a week, 20 plus hours on this show. I don't know how many other hours on ancillary shows. And all it takes, and to be considered a social media sensation, this little bastard just grabs, just scratches his face and puts a little smart ass,
Kings fans, please welcome social media sensation, the Wrestler. Here we go. Let's get this place going. The first period starts now.
Maybe this kid will die of a heart attack before he's 20.
See, you scratch your chin and then you put your little finger up like,
Can you do the Rizzler?
No, I cannot do the Rizzler.
He's got 1 million followers on Instagram. So his two big ones are Instagram and TikTok.
And he thinks he's all that. He thinks he's literally all that.
I would too if I was 8 and I was,
Yeah, if Sammy had, I would too, but unfortunately, your child, my child, who hates me, Lummy's child, Dan's kids, we didn't come up with the Rizzler. Because you guys are raising your kids just to be normal kids. And not be some triple chin fat little bastard that thinks he's all that.
Let's get this place going. The first period starts now.
are we going to look back at this one of these days and say, as a society, could we have been any dumber to actually given this guy any type of like care? Is it going to be like the pet rock? Remember back in the 70s when we had the pet rock, and then 10, 15, 20 years, like, man, we were stupid enough as a society to think that the pet rock was a thing? The Hawk Tua bitch.
Dude, Milli Vanilli. We fall for this every year. America, the world, falls for one of these douchebags every freaking year. From the pet rock to
Hawk Tua
to Milli Vanilli to the trolls to the little things where you like spin them and their hair gets out. It's all stupid, and we still fall for it because America is looking for an out, and this guy is an out.
This guy's stupid. Like, and then he gives his little.
The first period starts now.
I mean, am I the only one disgusted by this?
Yeah, I don't think that. I think with a lot of different things that have gone viral, I think that this is one of the more innocent ones.
Oh, I was going to say dumber ones. My bad. Hello.
Hey, morning, Bubba.
Yes, sir. Quickly, 813-90 Bubba. Let me. By the way, let me. We're gonna. Dan's gonna hit 1,000 thumbs up here soon.
Yes.
So thank you for that. If you're watching us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just a couple comments about the podcast and a question for Dr. Dan. Seth's killing on the podcast, switching them around and whatnot. You know, the Ford show, I think, had to go. I was on the Ford show with Joe the Supermark, and I'm a nobody, and Joe takes pictures of old bananas and still shots of himself behind you on the monitor. Not ingredients for a good podcast. So Seth's doing a great job.
Thank you.
You were just mentioning timing. Whenever, as a working guy, I see less than 50 minutes, I'm bummed out, man. I'm just, and that's just me.
Yeah, but statistically, hold on, that's just you. But statistically, Seth knows the stats. I'm somewhat familiar with them, and most successful podcasts go less than that. So 50s, you know, on the
Army, we want so much. I know we ask too much. I know. And I was listening to Over the Line, and you guys were making comments. Was the guy wearing something in his singlet? And yes, he was, because I guess it almost fell out. But my question to Dr. Dan is, does he realize how close he was to being stink bombed today? And if he had to have got the liquid ass, would he have done it and played by the rules? And would he still do it for great content?
Let me step in.
Love you guys.
And thank you, appreciate you. You're like your 900 questions. But one, I think if Dan was given the stink bomb punishment because of the trash that he had left behind that ended up making the entire studio smell, I think Dan, although he presents himself a little upper crust and better than us, deep down, I think that he's one of the dudes. And if that was the punishment, he would have done it. And secondly, I'm not going to ask anybody ever to do that just arbitrarily unless it's part of a punishment deal. That's my take on it. Dan, you can obviously give us yours.
I don't think you're gonna like my take, so I'll just keep it as your take.
No, Okay.
All I know is if someone ass bombs me, they're going to wake up to me urinating on them after I knocked them the F out. So anyone who wants to try that, please.
But what if Dan,
F-A-F-O.
we have established.
I'm not a clown, Bubba.
Dan, you I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just not going to. I know you're not a clown. But you are one of the boys.
Yes.
You don't ask to be treated any differently. You do not. You present yourself differently, but deep down you're one of the boys. And if other people have done, including myself, I've had to take that punishment before. I think deep down, if I had a private conversation with you, you would do it. I'm just saying. It would take me having a private conversation with you, but you would do it. Because you're one of the boys, and you don't want preferential treatment.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, good morning. It's Jeremy from Tennessee at the airport, getting ready to head to Houston myself.
Hi,
I'm super
Jeremy.
excited. Good morning. Super excited about this Tim Pool thing, man. I'm so excited about it.
Now,
I hope that I knock it out of the park. Go for it.
I do too. I hope so too. I'm not quite familiar with the format of it, whether it's some of it's taped, some of it's live, all of it's live. I'm not quite familiar. I don't know a lot about it. Other than I've watched a lot of Tim Pool's content. I think him and I don't know how compelling it's going to be because it seems like him and I align pretty close together. Like him and I have the same beliefs, it seems like. So
I think that's what's going to make great watching.
I hope so. Are you a Tim Pool fan?
I am, and I'm a major Bubba fan too. So it's like the two worlds colliding are, amazing in my opinion.
Fantastic.
I think the only thing that's pre-recorded is their green room take. So, like, if you're on Rumble and you're a premium member, I guess you get this green room action. So it's kind of you and everybody just kind of hanging out, chilling in the green room side. That's the pre-taped part, but everything else is just live as it happens.
So thank you for the heads up. So the green room is, like being recorded.
That's right.
All right. So I'm glad that I know that, Lummy, because we didn't know that before.
No.
And that certainly changes a lot of different things. I mean, like some of the things that we talk about when we go to commercials and we have the 5-minute and 20-second hot mic, we have to filter some of what we say because it's hot mic.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most interesting part for people to, first of all, there's a huge audience out there that has no idea the talents that is truly the Bubba the Love Sponge show. I mean, let's just get real. And this, I think, is going to really open up that platform. Again, there are a lot of people who love Tim Pool who have the same viewpoints that you do. So I think this is just going to open up more people for your show.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your call. Safe travels, my friend.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
Jacob, see you, love you, yay. You're bringing up the cool things.
What's that?
You notice how, again, this year, all the injuries that have been happening all over for pitchers, all like shoulder injuries. I don't think the pitch count shit works.
Is it the elbow or the shoulder?
For Cole?
Yeah.
For Cole's elbow, but I was just saying about like how there's been a lot of injuries with shoulders, elbows just in spring training again this year.
Man, I'll just always say pitching is one of the most unnatural things you can do.
Yeah.
So
especially the way he kind of throws too. He doesn't do that like
they say pitching is the worst thing for your shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you start throwing breaking balls.
All right, so we're gonna do Anthony, and then we're gonna go into the Gene. Well, I gotta show you my fucking.
Oh, the new one. Look at those. Whew. I noticed if I was a pitcher, man, I would be calling Nolan Ryan up and just trying to get his old school workout and stick with that fucking thing. Whatever he did, he said he's still throwing in the 80s. ICE arrested the Palestinian.
If it was illegal, it was illegally.
Yeah, he was organizing the Columbia protest.
But if ICE arrested him, then that means he was not here legally.
Good. Fuck those guys. Morning, Bulldog Tommy.
Yeah, Terry. Thank you. What's up? Bulldog Tommy, Data Slave, Skybot, Bips, Siren, Good Lord, 4X, Bun, Death Hatter.
Cheap Charlie 215, $20 up to date, keeping it real.
Thanks, Charlie.
Come on.
Catch a Phillies game this summer. Well, I went to the Yankees spring training Friday night.
How was that?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good. We had, those tickets. They're like third row. It was great. Judge couldn't hit the fucking side of a shed. Couldn't hit anything.
You're getting all the bad swings out now.
They still won. It was like 8-7. Like it was the second pitch was a home run.
Yeah, but the night before they were scoring a lot too. One blowing out. Good morning, Mitch tomorrow.
What's up, Mitch?
But it was a night game. It was a night game?
Mm-hmm. It's fun. I ate so much.
Was that the home play club?
No, I just was going upstairs and eating. Hot dog, hamburger, popcorn, peanuts. Man, candy, pretzel.
So that's going to be really bad for the Rays concession. It's going to be a nightmare to get concessions.
Here's the thing, like in Philly, there's like 75 places to eat in the Philly Stadium, for the Philly Stadium. It's like everywhere you turn is another place to eat, including like 3 or 4 sit-down restaurants.
Oh, I was on a spring training.
Oh.
I actually like Philly better.
Because that's why
Philly's one is anyhow because it's open.
Yeah.
The Yankees is enclosed.
Is it enclosed?
You can't watch the game. Yeah, it's old school. They wall it off.
Oh really? So if you're anywhere you can't see the game? Yeah. See from Philly, everywhere you can see the game.
The Philly spring training is that way too. It's all open.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's one mistake.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
BubbaArmyHQ.com. Lummy has been kind of analyzing that, looking at how to make that better. He had a great idea last week, and we're working on that.
Yes, we are.
It looks like 7-Eleven is our only intern. Was it Steve? I'm sorry.
John from Naples.
John from Naples came in a few days, but I guess his existing job is not really allowing him to have the additional time he needs to be an intern. So he
was never able to even make it here on his first day, unfortunately.
Okay.
So
all right.
But yeah, his other job, but wouldn't let him come
But
over
7-Eleven, man, he's churning, ain't he?
Oh, he sure is.
Yeah. So anyway, go to Bubba Army HQ. We have an unbelievable search engine. We have some new things we're working on, and of course, we're waiting for that app to be done, which is in beta right now. I'm excited for. I'm excited for. I got 2 big things that I've just been waiting, and the one thing, the documentary, I'm just to the point where, like, I can even see where the trolls would be like, it's not coming. You've been talking about it so much, you fat liar.
Kind of like the app. We're right there. We're close.
The wheels of justice and the wheels of my life turn very slowly. And I was so happy. I had Anthony on the air Friday, and he made his debut last night. What this kind of at 77 WABC 8 to 10. What this kind of represents, and Anthony's opening monologue kind of represents what I'm going through. Anthony, within the city of New York, and they were widely syndicated as well, I think even more so than me. Even at my height, where I had 14, 15 affiliates, I think they had 25, and were based out of New York, and I was based out of Tampa. That, Tampa base pays you $1.5 million. New York base pays you $4 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, it's a big difference. They probably were on the next level up. I was probably mid-range. And they were probably upper when it comes to the amount of money made, the amount of syndicates that they had.
Their peak was 24, it looks like.
2024?
There you go. I was right.
Yeah, 24.
I think my peak was 14.
Nice.
So, no, they killed me. So, but Anthony was an absolute New York terrestrial icon. And their big markets were Boston, Philly, New York. That was their big markets. My big markets were Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville. I also had markets in Atlanta and other markets as well. Louisville, Cincinnati, New Orleans. I'm San Diego. But, that's neither here nor there. So Anthony has been doing what we've been doing, but I think maybe even I would say maybe more, more profitable than us, or maybe larger, maybe Compound Media. I think, Lummy, which is what, basically his digital, Anthony's digital thing all along, as soon as he got fired from Sirius XM, I think it might have been in 14 or 16. He went immediately to the basement of his home and started a thing called Compound Media. It was behind a paywall, and I think it did quite well. I think it did really, really well, and he's kept that going. Kind of like when our bottom dropped out in 2017, and we went right to Twitch. Anthony started Compound Media, and it did quite well, and he's been doing quite well. But he never really had the opportunity to go back into New York radio and say goodbye or be recognized for, certainly on the Mount Rushmore of New York radio, him, Howard, Imus, Opie. That's the Mount Rushmore of New York radio, and he's been just officially blackballed for several different reasons. He got himself involved in some kind of racial situation. He got himself involved in some kind of he just got involved in a couple of things that just basically blackballed him from New York radio. And when you're a radio guy like me, and you've gone on to create a digital world like we have, you are we collectively are very, 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 very appreciative of the fact that we've been able to pay the bills digitally, and that we started out with Twitch, and now currently as we speak, as you're looking at me right now visually, we used to only be on one spot. Now we're on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Facebook, X, visually there. And then audibly, my God, the world is our oyster with regards to audibly. I mean, Bubba Army HQ, TuneIn, iHeart. I mean, there's, and then our three terrestrial affiliates. The difference between me and Anthony is I was able to hang on to a few terrestrial affiliates, but and this is no respect to Bruce Midorty or even Macho Man or anybody who has anything to do with Genesis Broadcasting, but we're on AM 820 and then a couple FM repeaters. But for the most part, people don't know that we're in Tampa because we're not on one of those super big, sexy signals. And even though 820 is a super sexy signal, it's just not perceived as such. I hope you're not mad at me. I'm certainly appreciative. I hope you don't fire me from it. We have a lot of people. The bad thing about it is, here's what sucks, is that we could be killing it on AM 820 with the 2 FM repeaters. I think 98.3 and 96.7. 98.3 over in Pinellas and 96.7 in Hillsboro. And we could be killing it. I've often had people that are listening to the show. Remember, Lummy, how many times we've had to take a picture. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, take a picture of your radio dial right now and post it on my Facebook page. My Facebook page being at The Bubba Army. And I'll literally get, like 200, 300 people that are listening to us at that particular time. I'll only mention it one time. At that particular time, get 200 or 300 people. I mean, that's got to equate to, with regards to a ratings share or a market share, that's got to equate to something fairly respectful within the ratings world. But the way the ratings are done, if you're not a subscriber to the ratings, then they don't. Then they don't give you a rating.
Invisible.
So it just doesn't make sense because there's only about half the stations in Tampa subscribe to the ratings, and so if half aren't being scored, how valid are those that are being scored? How valid are those numbers? If I got 10 people playing the game, but only 5 people are being scored, then how valid are the 5 people's scores? Dan, you're the smartest guy here with 160 IQ. I mean, I'm just saying.
It's ridiculous. It's not valid, and it's tainted, and it's an antiquated system that people still rely on. It's sad.
It is sad because very well we could literally, if you take our 3 signals, our 2 FM repeaters, 98.3, 96.7, and AM 820, and you combine all those, we could literally have like a 5 share, men 18 plus. And people are like, oh my God, Bubba and Seth and the guys that they got, they got a 5 or 6 share, but we don't know because they won't keep score for us. So, but if we were like, on 98 Rock or 98.7 or some sexy signal that's being one that's very powerful and is very well distributed in the marketplace. 2, it probably, Lummy, any radio station if we would ever get an opportunity to go back, it would probably be a station that we've already been to. Yeah. So there would be a great story in itself, Bubba's returning. And then secondly, we would be rated. And thirdly, I know the marketplace. I know the morning drive landscape of Tampa, Florida, and we would kill it. There's no stupid games, well, except on Thursdays when Babyface is here. But I'm just saying, like, our show with Dan and Jay and Gene and Tuttle and Brian and us, Lummy and Seth and me, we put together a better show than anybody. And we've grown digitally so well that we don't need a huge Tampa blowtorch to pay the bills, but it would be nice to have one. And so one of the greatest of all time in the city of New York has been busting his ass digitally, and he's been, pretty much banned for whatever reason in New York radio. And finally, somebody in New York gives this guy an opportunity. And even though it's an AM station, and we're on an AM station, 77 WABC in New York is just a legendary radio station. And it just gets it's in market number 1. And Anthony Cumia has a big enough name to get a ton of headlines when somebody believes in him and gives him an opportunity to come back into the marketplace. And here was the opening of his show last night. And Lummy, it's almost the same story that is played out in my life.
Yeah, it is.
My God. You've got to be kidding me. Yes, the Anthony Cumia Show. That's me, Anthony Cumia. We're back on broadcast radio. Who the hell saw this coming on that proverbial 2025 bingo card everyone's talking about? I sure didn't. I wasn't looking for a job. I just doing what I did. My internet show.
Check.
Playing video games, lounging, a lot of sleep.
Well, not so much that, but...
And then I get a call from the wonderful people at WABC Radio in New York. And they'd like me to do radio. On the air broadcast radio. And I'm like, are they crazy? Is this a joke? I've been
much like Lummy, if we got a call from one of the big sexy guys.
Yes, here in Tampa.
Exiled.
There you go. Let me just listen. This is what he has been. This is the same thing that's happened to us.
I've been exiled from radio, persona non grata, as they say, for many, many years. And I certainly wasn't expecting to ever get back. I thought this was a life sentence when you're kicked off of broadcast radio.
Again, Lummy, exactly.
Yep.
I feel as if I've been kicked out of Tampa radio for the rest of my life. This is a life sentence for me.
That seemed to be it.
Lummy, the last time we broadcast was 2016.
Yes.
So it's been
9
years since we've been on one of the big boys. And Bruce, please don't think that I'm being disrespectful, because I'm very thankful for what you have given me and continue to give me. But I feel very Anthony Cumia like when it comes to how I'm being dealt. I've been told I have a friend. I'll just say I've been told that I'll never work for Clear Channel ever again. From a guy that makes those decisions. Like, stop trying. Like, let me, anytime something good or something like happens, I'll always send it to him. And he's a friend of mine, and he's finally said, Bubba, stop trying. Stop bugging me with this stuff. You will never, ever sniff Clear Channel. You are so blackballed over here that you will never work here again.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Did you know there was a guy from Did you know that there was a guy from San Diego? You might be able to look it up. Did you know there was a guy from San Diego? He was this big time radio talk show guy. He killed his wife. He went to prison. He did his time and then came right back. And when he got back out of prison, he went right back on the air. Did you know that Craig Carlson guy, remember, went and did 3 years in a federal penitentiary for some kind of on-air Ponzi, rip people off their money scheme? Went and did, I think, and there's been a documentary on him, went and did, I think, 24, 36 months in federal prison. And when he got back, had his existing radio show and a television show waiting for him. Now, what did I do?
Not looking for anything. There were little hopes. I would have hoped that somebody over the course of the years would have looked and said, hey, what's that Anthony guy doing?
Same thing. I feel like it's the very same thing I would be saying. Thank you, Macho Man. 77 WABC is the same strength as as AM 820.
And WABC. They're the station that did it. I got to, of course, thank John and Chad over there. And I would be remiss.
So anyway, Lummy, it's the same thing that I feel. Like, what did I do? Let me look for that story in San Diego.
Yeah.
What did I do? Okay, I got into a little ratings conundrum. That didn't even go to court. It got sealed. It got settled and sealed. That's all I can say about it. And the Hogan sex tape. That's what I've done wrong. Is that not forgivable? Am I that big of an asshole? Do people hate me that much that you don't think that if I went right back to Tampa radio with my crew and my ability to host and my infrastructure, that we wouldn't go right back to dominating? So let me, I fast forwarded it to a couple spots you told me to.
Okay.
Comes the name, shocking. So this job as a shock jock was given to a few people over the course of the years. I guess Howard was considered a shock jock years ago, and Mancow, and there's so many around the country. And Opie and Anthony, we were shock jocks. And another thing is these like podcasts. Everyone has a podcast now. So I think people believe if they have a podcast, they're doing radio. And it's really a different world.
He's really right. There's still an art to spoken word terrestrial radio. There's an art to it. It's unlike anything. It's unlike podcasting, the loosely knit. A lot of times podcasting isn't even live. What would you say, Seth? 50% of the times podcasting is not live? What would you put the percentages at?
Oh, probably more than that.
Yeah. And at that point, you can edit things and make things tighter. But spoken word, terrestrial, high wire, on a high wire act, live, can't take things back, on the fly, is a very, very lost art.
You know, broadcast radio is something different. I always had an affinity for it. I wanted to do it. I enjoy doing podcasts and things like that, but there was just something about broadcast radio. And
that's the same way I feel. Because it's what we cut our teeth on. It's what we were raised with. It's what I started doing April 1st, 1986. 39 years ago. And I don't know anything else. Oh, I do. I do know other things else, but I wasn't. It's not what I started doing.
Even in 2025, when I was approached by WABC here, I didn't even think twice. I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. I enjoy doing this. And that's a pretty important part of, I guess, doing anything that you're going to do with your life is liking doing it. I thank God and fate and luck and anything else, I did very well with the Opie and Anthony show. I count my blessings all the time that I don't really worry about material matters.
So, Lummy, do you ever think, or does anybody for that matter, ever think, as somebody that's in the same category as I am, Opie and Anthony, and better, and to fragment that on down, Anthony Cumia, who did some he did some stuff that was not cool. SiriusXM, fired him for saying something very racially charged, and he just did a lot. He did some stuff that I'm sure he's not proud of, and he did some stuff that basically blackballed him from the business. But somebody at a big radio station that can make a difference said, I think we need to give this guy a chance, especially in New York. Do you think, and listen, don't tell me what I want to hear, because the answer could be no. But do you think we'll ever get that shot here in Tampa? And let me start off by saying my answer is it's looking like no.
Oh. Well, I mean, do you think Orson Welles is pissed off he couldn't do War of the Worlds on Telegraph? I mean, we've evolved from radio, Bubba, and I think that holding on to that is going to be frustrating, futile, and really insignificant over the next 5 years.
Perhaps. But but I still feel as if I still have some meat on my terrestrial radio bones and something to say and prove yet locally in Tampa, Florida. Seth, over to you. The next, I'd like your opinion of that. My answer is no. I don't think we'll ever get a shot.
I don't ever think about local radio. That's not my mindset when I come in here. I feel like we're in a completely different category. I feel like you are Colin Kaepernick in Tampa Bay. I feel like it's not going to happen as much as you keep, trying out and, bringing things up and, saying you got it. I just think that ship has sailed, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that this show should be focused on getting picked up by, not quite Spotify, but some sort of major digital distributor. And I think that would be the best way to get money. I mean, look, here's the thing. I don't want to take anything away from Anthony, but he's not doing his morning show, on WOW back like he was in the day. He got a 2-hour spot late Sunday night. I mean, if somebody offered you a 2-hour spot from 8 to 10 on Sunday night, I mean, I wouldn't take it.
You'd laugh at it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I wouldn't take it.
He's back, but he's not back to the effect that you would want to be back.
Right.
So
I agree.
I think the focus would be, to find a major digital distribution company, and hopefully they'd want to pay us a ton for what we put out every day.
I agree. I agree with your sentiments.
For this, and your support is greatly appreciated. The other thing is the cursing. Like Donald Trump, it works for Trump. He went to the rallies and he'd start talking and he'd drop S-bombs and F-bombs and it fit. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump was a builder. He built buildings in Manhattan. Do you know what it took in the 80s to get a yard of cement into Manhattan? You had to sit down with the 5 families. He had to be able.
All right, so there's Anthony. Anthony Cumia's radio show sparks conversation.
Is he saying Trump's in the mafia? That's what I got.
Maybe. This
Well,
guy's
later he was kind of talking about how you should be able to curse on terrestrial radio, which you've said. If the president
to
can
a
do
point,
it on
to a point.
Well, that's what he was saying,
Yeah.
like the S word and different words.
Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Bubba. How are you?
Good, bud.
Hey, congratulations and good luck on the pool podcast.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful thing. You're welcome. I would have to agree with Seth. I don't think, Bubba, that's going to be your cup of tea, man. I think you're up and over and beyond all this Tampa bull crap that you've been involved in for so many years. I think it's good that you guys are focusing on a different medium, and I think you're going to do great. I did have a couple questions for Dr. Dan. I was out getting gas in my car this morning when the response was Dr. Dan going to get liquid ass? I didn't hear that response. I was curious to see what his answer was. And secondly, I just wanted to thank Dr. Dan again for his wonderful, wonderful work that he does. I was blessed enough last night to get my hands on a set of those Diacos, and they are unbelievable. I just don't understand, Dr. Dan, which is great, how you get them to hang and look so awesome. Thank you very much, Bubba. Keep doing your thing. The guys, keep putting up a good show.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it.
Well, guys, I've done almost 10,000 breast augmentations, so I pretty much got it down. And if you need any kind of plastic surgery, please call me at 888-8-DIACOS, DIACOS. And I did a hair transplant, Bubba, on a female this week.
You did?
Yes, and you don't have to shave them. So we're shaving less. You had to shave the donor spot, but it's covered by all their hair. And then we just did about 2,000 grafts on the hairline. She had a facelift with bad scars from another person.
So if I was to do your hair gimmick on my male pattern baldness area, would you have to shave my entire head?
No, we just have to shave the back of it, and that part will grow back in a week. So it's already thin back there anyway.
All you'd have to do is just shave like my little ring of honor back there.
Right.
And then you would take donors from my back,
from the back of your head, and
where my hot dogs are.
Right, and that area heals in like 5 or 6 days. It's dramatic. There's no incision. It's just a bunch of little 1 millimeter holes that just seal up fast.
Because I asked Seth about it today. I was like, Seth, do you think I should get Dan to do my ring of honor? And he's like, well, it's really not that bad. And I go, I know, but not being that bad's probably when you do it.
Right.
so that I don't end up having a Ring of Honor.
Would you give him a new hairline, Dan, or would you leave it where it is?
No. The strength now with hair transplantation is really working on that hairline, because that's what people see. No one sees the back of his head. People see the front of his head and the hairline, and the receding hairline is what ages you.
I don't know if I have. Am I receded?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We all are. Even Lummy is. Lummy's got a beautiful set of hair, but those little corners are starting to go back. And it happens to all of us.
Power alleys?
Power alleys, yeah.
The new hairline makes you look 10 years younger.
It really does. It really does. It's what there's a couple of things we look at when we kind of like think age. Platysmal bands in the neck, a receding hairline. That heaviness around the eyes. Those are all things that kind of scream this guy's getting old.
Anthony Cumia's radio return sparks a conversion and conversation and conspiracy. Anthony Cumia successfully premiered the Anthony Cumia Show on 77 WABC, airing 8 to 10 on Sunday night. Last night, the show marked Cumia's return to terrestrial radio, where he has discussed various topics, including conspiracy theories, Gene Hackman's death. Despite initial nervousness, Cumia delivered a performance reminiscent of his earlier career, which is well received by listeners. Fans expressed enthusiasm for the show, with many, maybe. I'm not gonna say that.
What?
Nah, I'm not gonna say that.
Oh, say it.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you. I went up on my way to Gainesville.
Yes.
To watch the NHRA Nationals, which got rained out Saturday.
No.
I stopped by my track, and I got 2 new pieces of equipment from Skag. I got the Tree Frog, which is this thing, and then I got the Jackal, which is the stand behind skid steer.
I saw a dingo and I laughed at it the other day. I saw one driving. It was like it was in the back of a pickup truck. I'm like, oh, that's what the Jackal eats.
Oh, you saw, dingo.
I saw a little dingo.
So rather than say what I was gonna say, I'm just gonna play my Skag dirt moving video next instead.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Eat dingoes.
He did?
Yeah, he knew the implication, yeah. That's you? Jesus.
Look at that. Making that hill its bitch.
Where's the person?
What's
Is the
the
person
front?
in there?
No, there's no person in
Shut
there.
up. There's no person in there?
No.
RC. So is the front the taller tread or the back? Is that the front or the back?
That's the side.
Do you mind if I run Skag commercials on Tuesday and Wednesday?
That's back. That's back.
That's the back with the hitch.
Seth, do you want to break down the video with them?
I'd like to maybe a different video.
Oh, okay.
Could you get me a different?
Yeah, we'll get Drunk Dave and One Eye Billy running.
Are there any snow Skags? I'd like to see what it could do in the snow.
Oh, there you go. Like a snowmobile?
Yeah. We got any of that footage? Let me on 4 hours of that footage for tomorrow and Wednesday.
All right, I'm on it.
Like a Skag snowblower?
Thank you. Yes.
Remote control snowblower?
I want to see run it right over an Eskimo.
This thing knocks down igloos.
Pretty badass. Everybody. No, Cash App or Love Money. Love Army tips. Makes sense. $20. Hey Bubba, there's a gift. Dana Rose got Dr. Dad a gift. Would I be able to give it to him at like his last break?
Just give it to him right now.
Okay.
Hey, Bubba, this thing I can't mention on. Can I mention it? That Dan Lummy gave me this thing. This Gail Sayers.
Huh?
Did you see this jersey?
No, you can bring it on the studio.
Oh. You should be ripping the fucking nuts. Ow! Bubba, look at this. From Danny Rose and Lummy.
Wow. What's
That's
it?
awesome. Gail Sayers.
It's not Gail
Dr.
Sayers.
Gail Sayers.
Dr.
Gail
Sayers.
Sayers. Gail Sayers. Not Gail
Yes,
Sayers.
yes,
Gail Sayers.
I guess his favorite movie is the one with
Brian
what's his
Piccolo.
name?
It's Brian's song.
Brian's
song.
song. The Piccolo.
Brian Piccolo's story. It's fucking awesome. It's fucking giant too.
Probably worth quite a bit of money.
Oh yeah. Wow. That's awesome, Lummy. Thank you, Dan. Thanks, Lummy. Oh, can I mention it when we get back on?
Dude, there's no doubt it works. There's no doubt about it at all.
Wow.
It's just
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah.
my guy owes me some.
Don't forget.
My guy owes me some follicles.
Oh, does he? Your
No, I got
guy.
no. No, it was an
Gene and the boys down there.
It was an endorsement, and I quit radio before I finished that endorsement.
I didn't get this far.
No, I didn't get his money's worth.
Actually, I thought you meant like so we could, Gene could show up with the the bikers.
I like
Force him to do it.
that. You think Gene should get it?
No, I was saying he can go down and rough them up for you.
Oh, that would be great. I need that.
Get your follicles back.
He's not harvesting them like embryos. I would have to give him my follicles for then him to give them back to me. But I like what you're saying.
You're right. No, that's what sorry about that. That's all right. Just don't throw it, Jack.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
We had Jay come in over the break, which was a perfect transition. And Dan is freaking out.
I really am.
Now, Dan's favorite football player, well, according to Dan, is Gail Sayers, which correlates to the I think it's called Brian's
song.
Ryan's song, and it's about Brian Piccolo and Gail Sayers, and they were both Chicago Bears back in the '60s.
Running backs,
and they were best buddies. Gail Sayers was kind of the star. Brian Piccolo was kind of the second string guy, fullback, but not near the star that Gail was. And then Gail ended up, his career cut short because of a knee injury. Brian died of cancer.
Yeah.
And the whole story is called, Ryan's. Is it Ryan's song?
Brian's song.
Brian from Brian Piccolo. And
right.
so
I saw the movie when I was like 19. A friend of mine brought me to the movie. He's like, "You're definitely going to cry at this movie." And I don't know anyone that's a guy that's seen that movie and hasn't cried.
Agreed, including myself. And so Dan, I guess for whatever reason, him and Lummy knew that Ryan's song was. Brian's song was Lummy's.
Ryan song.
Was Dan's favorite, and Lummy and Daniel Rose found this unbelievable jersey, Hall of Fame. Like, I don't know, Dan, you show it to the cameras. And they mostly Daniel Rose because he's loaded.
No, yeah, Daniel Rose. He knew the movie, and you
didn't have anything to do with this. Was what you're saying?
No, I did. I told him that. Because I guess
you verbally had a lot to do with it, but as far as dollars out of your pocket,
0.0.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dan, that's probably worth quite a bit of money. That's probably worth quite a bit of money.
I'm so excited because having a signed thing from someone that you have, no connection to anyway whatsoever is cool, but not as cool as something like I would love something from Walter Payton because I actually met Walter Payton. Gail Sayers was really it's an instrumental in my growing up because I saw that movie at such a young age. It was really impactful to me. And I wasn't really I'm not really a lifelong
but hold on.
Chicago fan, but
it's
he's
also
the stud.
It's also been signed by him.
Yep.
His Hall of Fame date put in, and he's no longer with us.
Right.
So like you
can't replicate
there's
it.
no more of these being made. What's in the marketplace is what's in the. That's it.
Right.
Like I got a Dick Butkus Hall of Fame jersey, and Dick Butkus has left us, and there's no more being made. So. Wow, what a neat gift. Thank you, Daniel Rose.
Yes, thank you, Daniel Rose. Love me too.
Yeah, he's got a couple things for you too, Bubba, coming up.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a couple things
That's
coming up.
awesome. Thank you.
Dan, you putting that in the carriage house, or are you gonna hang it up, or?
It's too good for the carriage house. You need to put that.
That's office material.
Okay.
Yeah. I even talked to Danny about it, but I like it so much that he's going to have to He's going to have to deal
wait
with
for you to
Jameis
die to
Winston.
get it.
He's going to wait for me to die to get it. Exactly.
Tell Danny in about 25 years it'll be his.
Yes.
But until then, you really need to display it. I would. You know where I might put it? I don't know. It may not fit the Miami feel decor you have of the legal office, but I mean, would it be inappropriate to put in your office at the legal building?
Maybe, but I think more people would see it in my regular office. So I have a lot more traffic in there.
Yeah.
The law office doesn't have 35 people coming in every day.
Right. So anyway, speaking of getting things, I'm only one of 15 people in the world that have these because these are just now being made.
Oh, the tree frog, eh?
Yeah, the tree frog, eh? And so this Skag is just now starting to make these. Mine was a demo. It's the tree frog, the extreme slope mower / bush hog. And on my way to Gainesville to, oddly enough, go see Randy and Maria from Skag, they had dropped it off. Florida Outdoor Supply is the Skag official. Like, Lummy, when Skag ships to Florida, they ship to Florida Outdoor Supply in Orlando, and then they send it to the dealers.
That's awesome.
So this came from Florida Outdoor Supply. Normally, my dealer in Ocala is Mike's Lawnmower. And so Mike's Lawnmower doesn't even have one of these. And they're a Skag dealer. Again, there's only 15 of these because they're on the line being made as we speak. So I stopped by my track on the way to Gainesville Saturday to check it out and to kind of demo it out here.
Were you like a little kid with it too?
Oh, I didn't even want to go to the drag races.
Dude, it looks military grade. Honestly, it looks like a little tank, doesn't it, Dan?
And
it's unbelievable.
And Dan, here's the deal. It runs it's all electric until it gets below 20%. And then at 20%, the 37 horsepower Vanguard gasoline motor kicks in, and it starts taking over. And while it's taking over, it's also recharging your battery.
Oh, that's cool.
So
it's a hybrid?
Yeah, it's a hybrid. Check this out. Hold on. And by the way, there's me and Randy Lummy Saturday at the races.
Nice.
Merch Crick put this together for me.
Little slideshow with fades in and out.
I think Apple did.
Yeah, here we go. So look at how badass that thing is.
Who's that guy? Is that One-Eyed Billy?
No, that's Drunk Dave.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a monster.
All right, let me see.
That thing will roll over a baby and destroy it.
Oh, this thing will go. Listen, it can be used as a bush hog too. If it can, I asked Randy on Saturday. I'm like, what's the size of sapling? Is it 2 inches? Is it 4 inches? He's like, if the tree frog can run over it, then it can, and get it to bend down, then it can mulch it, and then it can mow it.
Wow.
That's me turning it on. Wow. See, Dave's already been trained on it. Now it's just now I'm getting trained on it.
Battle bot? So it looks like a battle bot?
It looks like a battle bot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I start driving it.
Big sledgehammer.
Let me just fast forward a little bit. Now, Lummy, normally we can't
Get that hill?
We can't. No, Weed Whipper Greg has to put cleats on and do it by hand with a weed whacker.
Can you adjust the height on that too?
Yes, it goes from 2 to 12.
Wow,
12 inches?
Yeah, it can go from 2 to 12.
Jesus, you can run over anything.
Now, see, Lummy, the Florida Outdoor Supply guys, they had already been here a day before, and they'd already mowed this hill. So this hill didn't need mowed. It had already been mowed.
Makes sense.
But I was going to remow it. Wants me to go backwards. So, all right. I guess the guys from Florida Outdoor Supply, they went sideways. You can do it. You can do it however you want.
Oh, yeah. You can go long ways on it.
The long way. So here I am.
So it's just like a remote control lawnmower?
It's exactly what it is. Seth, you'd be the envy of your entire neighborhood. You roll out this baby.
I don't have much grass.
I know.
I'm in a townhome area. Does that also do some sifting?
No sifting. All right, so then I take it. I turned it off, Lummy, and then I'm driving it to my next spot, and I got kind of this dirt. I kind of got this, and I can't get my regular zero turn through here because it's too. It doesn't have tracks, and it's too wet down in here.
Oh, you get stuck quick.
And I get stuck quick, and it's just too thick. So I wanted to see how it would do with this kind of stuff. And again, this is my first time driving it, so when I get more proficient on it, I'll be quicker and can turn better and things like that. It's not. I'm not going near as efficient and quick as I could go. That's awesome. That's my new tree frog, which is unbelievable. Not to be confused with my new jackal, Lummy. Whew. Look at this.
Oh, that's badass.
Hold on here. Let me get on it. It's a dingo. And jackals eat dingoes.
Yep.
That's all I need to say. And I actually got the smaller bucket because for the application that we needed here at the track to get in front of the bleachers and get all the material out of there, we needed the smaller bucket. So I think this is the smallest bucket they make. They make a bigger one. They make 3 different sizes of buckets.
You almost look like a Roman gladiator on a chariot.
And they've been selling Mike's lawnmower.
That's what he feels like at this moment. Getting ready to go into the battle.
Dan, you need to be rolling around your neighborhood with this thing.
I want to mow the whole neighborhood with the remote control thing, though. I want to run that thing all over my house.
Something like this is exactly what you need. A material like this, you can't hand shovel it with a wheelbarrow, and a full-size skid steer is not going to fit in the back of your trailer. Something like this is exactly what you need. Let me show you.
That still's heavy, though, right? It's super heavy. All that stuff's heavy, right? Even the remote control thing's heavy.
That's a proper front loader.
Now, Lummy, can you imagine hand shoveling that by hand? And a lot of guys do. So I just need to put it now. I just need to put it back. Yeah. Now, see, Lummy, see all this material that gets thrown out of the track and against this wall is a little too. My big skid steer to get in here. More importantly, down in this area,
you can't fit.
My big skid steer won't fit down in this area. This gets a ton of dirt, so we can scrape all of that area and do this area too. So anyway, Lummy,
that's a good amount of dirt.
That's my jackal and my tree frog.
I know what the rest of my day looks like today.
What's it look like?
Watching that video over and over.
Pleasure in yourself.
We now have answers in the death of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy.
This is really, really taking a turn, has it not?
It's bizarre.
I gotta know once you get to it, Bubba. I gotta figure out what his wife had because it was some sort of rodent disease or something.
Yeah, it was weird. I was hoping
it was a very obscure virus that came from rodents, but remember that the plague was from the rodents too. I mean, rodents are filthy.
I mean, they can blame everything on the rodents, can't they?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, weren't they trying to blame COVID on the pangolin or something like that?
Yeah,
pangolin. Was a news conference in New Mexico just a short time ago, and based on what they said, his wife Betsy died on February 11th. And Gene Hackman lived in that house for a full week before he died on February 18th.
Now, again, as this is all coming out, is Gene so
Alzheimer's
not in good shape that he can't hit? I mean, like he can't call 911.
He may not have
never even
recognized.
saw her.
Yeah, he may not even recognize that she was dead or seen her.
Well, yeah, they said
she was
didn't go in
sleeping
that
or
room.
something.
She was in a room that I guess he didn't go to.
Which is a stunning
Seth, you and Phoebe need those kind of parameters with rooms.
Man, that's
you could have a card room that she's not even allowed, and like once you're in there, nobody's allowed to disturb you.
How do you not even have any of your kids or family check up on you for?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I guarantee you between you, Steven, and between Dan, Steven, and Jay. Multiply that with the wives, multiply that with Bella, multiply that with her, that somebody knows exactly what Arlene is doing every day.
For sure.
Pretty much 5 out of 7.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys got a general idea that she's in town, that she's in St. Pete, that she may be coming over to see y'all, that she might have some type of procedure. Because, as you get old, like my mom's got like some kind of dermatology thing and, just different things.
You're 100% right. We had a code blue a few years ago. Remember when she ended up missing on the way to church and Aunt Tina knew and then they didn't see her and her car was missing?
It was 2 hours where she changed her schedule just a little bit and it set off a bunch of yellow lights because she wasn't where she was supposed to be. And, and everyone freaked out.
As your loved ones get older, the family then kind of circles the wagons and everybody kind of takes onus in knowing what mom or dad is doing.
Well, my family, when my grandpa had Alzheimer's, like bad Alzheimer's, like I guess Gene Hackman did, the family was going over there every day.
Right.
And he didn't know who they were.
Most of the time.
What are all these strangers doing here?
Exactly.
I can't wait to get Alzheimer's so I can forget everybody. Except for those I don't want to forget. Be like, oh, I know who Dan is. Oh, but I don't know who that guy is.
Authorities there, Betsy died from hantavirus, which is a virus that you can get from rodents. It is
that you can get from rodents.
Dan, so how did she? So she was found dead with a bunch of pills scattered around. Is this something that you have that you live with and it can flare up, or?
No, acutely it kills you. It's an acute problem. So you get it and you die.
How do you get it, though?
You get it from being in contact with rodent feces. They're arguing that maybe the dogs transmit it to them, but it's still none of it makes sense. It doesn't make sense.
It's still probably...
She died. When's the last person someone died from a hantavirus? Okay? I can't remember in my entire lifetime anyone being documented saying, oh, this person died of hantavirus.
Which is the virus that she died of.
Right. Okay. Secondly, for him to walk around and not recognize that she was not there. I mean, I understand Alzheimer's, but still in Alzheimer's, you still have some fundamental understanding of life. You wake up, you go through the day, you go to bed. Who was cooking food for him? He can't pick up a phone and say, hey, where's my wife? Where are my kids? Who am I? What house am I in? You'd think it'd be disoriented and something would fire.
If you're Gene Hackman and you have the ability to feed yourself.
95's tough, though. 95 with advanced Alzheimer's.
95's tough, but I'm saying is was he malnutrition? Was he malnourished to the point where
the dog was?
I mean, how many days was she gone for that?
Like a fat week, I think.
Yeah, week.
7-8 days.
And then he died, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And then the dog was locked in the kennel, couldn't eat, so that dog died.
Serious, sometimes fatal disease. And based on what the officials there said, that is what Betsy succumbed to February 11th.
He said he died. He also died. He had an empty stomach.
So he was hungry.
So he was
Poor
hungry.
guy had no food for a week. You know, I mean, that's what happened to me, I guess, at that age. If no one's gonna cook for me.
So like
Definitely no Uber Eats.
with a normal, not me, because I could probably live 3 months in the fat that I got stored, but like Jay. Jay's probably the skinniest guy.
I got about 4 days.
It's six. It's a number of sixes, Bubba. You can't live without air for 6 minutes. You can't live without water for 6 days, and you can't live without food for 6 weeks.
Oh, you can go that long without food?
Oh yeah, some people longer.
But you got to be drinking the whole time.
But you need water.
But you got to need water.
And on February 18th.
Now, what if you're out there on a raft in the ocean and all you have is salt water? Is there a way that you can drink salt water and it not kill you?
If you boil it.
But I mean, you don't have any. Obviously, you're on a. I mean, I don't.
Right. And you know, if you're catching rainwater, if it's evaporating, but otherwise not really, because it'll dehydrate you worse. It's got too much salt in it.
What about this? Let's say you had a bucket, but it's got too much salt in it, so you can't. And you don't have a way to heat that bucket up to boiling. But you do catch a couple rain showers. If you had that bucket that got filled up with water from rain, you could survive on that, couldn't you?
100%.
Like. 100%.
And there's some fluid in food. So if you were able to, get a bird or get a fish or two or something like that, there's some fluid in that as well. It was like, you need to drink 8 glasses of water, and Diet Pepsi is not water. Well, yeah, it is. It's water with about a 1/4 ounce of syrup in it. So any fluid is water.
He suffered something, and they did not use the word heart attack, but they came close to saying it. The medical examiner said she couldn't for sure say it was a heart attack because he had previous episodes, and it was unclear whether what they were looking at was the cause of death or something earlier. But they did say heart disease was the primary cause of death, with Alzheimer's a significant contributing factor. Now, as for Alzheimer's, that may explain why Gene Hackman was in that house for a full week without calling authorities, saying that his wife died.
Isn't that a sad scenario?
Alzheimer's was...
Isn't that sad, though, to think about how that he was that advanced, that his wife is dead, his dog is dying, he's not eating for a week, and
like
he doesn't
zombie.
know how to call for help.
Are you literally at that point? Are you literally just like a zombie that's just kind of walking and stumbling around through the house, and you literally don't know anything?
And imagine a guy that's that accomplished as an actor, really a pillar of his
2-time Oscar winner.
Yeah, I mean, a pillar in that community, and no one has a systematic checkup on him. Like, there's not someone that's going to the house a couple times a week to check on him. The children, no nurses,
caregiver.
No nothing.
That's the thing I was thinking.
That's so freaking disgusting.
And let's not forget now. This isn't a person who has normal person's means.
No.
This is a person that is probably, look, hey, Alexa, what is Gene Hackman's personal worth? I know it's not a lot.
100 movies, I believe.
Gene Hackman was worth an estimated $80 million.
Yes, $80 million bucks, and no one's watching him.
So you have $80 million bucks, which is, again, at this point, you could have, as a family of Gene Hackman, and you have $80 million bucks.
Just at least a nurse to swing by once a day.
Exactly.
Once a week.
You could literally. I'd have at home. That's 24-hour care.
Right, that's what you should have had.
But
see, that's irritating when the guy has that kind of money and the kids are like, "Oh, I don't want to blow the money on that."
Well, she was the caretaker.
What is that? $1,000 a week max?
Who cares?
Yeah,
$80 million bucks. It could be $5,000 a week. Who cares? Spend it. If he's insisting on staying in his house, then those are the extra costs you're going to have. You're not going to put him in a skilled nursing facility or a memory facility for people with like Alzheimer's. Then you need to have someone assigned to him to check on him on a regular basis. And his old wife, who wasn't as old as him but still old, wasn't able to carry that torch.
He was a big son of a gun too. He was a big guy. It's not easy to take care of a large Alzheimer patient.
Take care of.
My mom said they were paying because they had an in-home 24/7 nurse for my grandpa. They paid $2,000 a week.
Yeah, so the most expensive would be $5,000.
Yeah.
So and then they have that money, and if they did have some kind of. And if they did have some kind of service like that set up and they didn't recognize the stuff, then that would absolutely be a negligence claim against that service.
Company, right.
Yeah, and if something like this happened in Florida,
and his health was failing. And they don't even know if Gene was aware that Betsy had died. That's how tenuous this all was. Now, you also know that their dog Zima also passed away. They said that Zima had been taken to a veterinary clinic for a procedure shortly before Betsy died. And when they took the dog back home, they crated Zima. And Zima was found dead in the crate. It may well
died of starvation.
Be starvation, or it may have had some.
And Dan, let me ask you a question. Is starvation just like an absolute inhumane way to go? Does your body just start shutting down? Like when a person or a dog or an animal or a human being dies of starvation, what are the cycles of, like, how does it work? Like when somebody shoots you in the head, you're dead. But like, you know, like what's the time frame or the timeline of a starvation death?
Well, starvation is arguably the most humane way to die because most animals and a lot of old people, when they're ready to die, stop eating. And when you stop eating, several things happen. You start becoming dehydrated. You start having electrolyte shifts. And the ultimate death happens when your electrolytes get so bad that you go into an arrhythmia. And that happens with severe dehydration as well as with starvation. You get acidotic. And your pH lowers, and then you go into a heart arrhythmia, and you quietly die.
That's it.
That's it. It's quiet. It's peaceful, and like I said, starvation is for us to starve it would be different. But when an old person starves, they don't feel the hunger, they don't feel the thirst.
I mean, you get hungry just on being on the show and have to have a protein shake or pancakes at a moment's notice.
Right, exactly. I can't take it.
You are the most hangry person I know in the world.
Yeah. I need a lot of sugar.
What's that?
I need sugar.
Relationship to the procedure, we do not know. There is a necropsy that is pending. But as of now, at least there are answers. And the answers are Gene Hackman died of heart disease a week after his wife Betsy.
And again, Dan, the heart disease probably wasn't the standard heart disease. It was the body is shutting down and you're afibbed because you're of starvation. That's probably.
He was dehydrated and he was malnourished. So absolutely. And dehydration gets you in 6-7 days. So
I know what this is.
For Miss Betsy Hackman, aged 65 years, is hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. The manner of death is natural. Autopsy examination and full-body postmortem CT demonstrated no findings of trauma internally or externally.
Is she out handling mice?
Who, his wife?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
It could have come from for rat droppings.
Are they saying like the house was rat infested?
I don't. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, what are they? How does she have all this exposure?
I'm just. It's just weird about how she just kind of dropped dead.
There's a conspiracy that says that I guess the dogs were catching rats, and she was
so the dogs are catching rats, and she's handling all these rats.
Dead rats.
And
French kissing them.
Yeah, but like
not just French kissing them, but if the dog brings in a rat, you're gonna pick up the rat, put it in the trash bag, throw it away, and just touching it.
But we all kiss our dogs too, like that. I mean,
the dog's mouth's on the rat,
right?
You know,
I'm
not kissing my dog ever again.
Microscopic findings consistent with hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Laboratory testing was positive for hantavirus at a clinical lab, with required confirmation testing positive at Scientific Laboratories Division. Testing for COVID-19, influenza, and other common respiratory viruses was negative.
All right, well, at least the corona didn't get her. The rats did.
Still
$80 million, and he's got rats in his house.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
Well, he lives on a big plot of land.
That doesn't give an excuse for rats.
Who's this? Hello.
He didn't even have a camera at his house.
Hey, Bubba, it's John Doe, retired 5-0. I just want to say, first of all, Gene Hackman, what a talent. R.I.P. Gene. We're going to miss him. And second of all, I wanted to ask Dr. Dan, talking about if you're out on a boat, there was a guy, it seems like about, 20 years ago, who said you could survive off salt water. And he was saying that what happens is everybody waits till they're super dehydrated, and then they start drinking the salt water, and then it's going to kill you quick. But if you start drinking little amounts of salt water mixed in with what freshwater reserves you have, and kind of slowly kind of wean yourself off of the freshwater and onto the salt water, that you can actually live for quite some time off of the salt water. And my recollection is the guy actually went out to sea and did this to himself and proved it. Does Dr. Dan remember anything like that?
I don't remember anything like that, but it makes sense. And if you were trying to supplement your fresh water with a little salt water, as long as the salt's not more than like 1%, then
So Dan,
you actually can drink it to
Let's
some
say
extent.
you had like 5 gallons of regular water, and you're like, I'm going to start cutting this with like, a pint or 2. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you would acclimate to it better, and you wouldn't be severely dehydrated, and you would extend your life. But pure salt water will dehydrate you because it's just too much salt. It's too hypertonic.
Appreciate your call, buddy. Thanks. Last phone call, 813-90 Bubba, then we have to go to words. Hello.
Hello, Bubba.
Yes.
Hey, it's Jeff over in Oviedo. I wanted to take a moment and thank you and thank Dr. Dan for all the help he gave me with that spinal issue, and I'm going into surgery tomorrow.
Oh, good luck.
But I wanted to take a moment to say thank you, and he's going to be getting a Gale Sayers football to go with his Gale Sayers jersey.
What do you mean?
He says that you did something nice for him medically, and he sees that you like Gale Sayers, so he's going to get you a football. That's what he says.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I've got the football. Bubba, is it okay if I send it to your office?
Yeah, absolutely. Just put attention, Dan Diaco.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay. I appreciate it. No, listen, if I had to pay for the stuff you did between helping my daughter and helping me, I couldn't even begin to
Which
thank
goes
you
right back to the standard Dan saying, as Dan's a dick until you need him.
And then he's always there.
And then he's there.
Bubba, I wanted to ask you a question if I can.
Okay, quickly.
About Ron Capps. He seems like such a nice man, and I'm watching. Every time you see him, he's smiling, he's happy. Is he that way in real life?
Yep.
Because many years ago, he used to drive for a friend of mine.
And what did your friend say his attitude was like?
Well, he was in the very beginning stages of his career. So, we just talked about, how he started out and all that. I really didn't get into the personality.
Ron Capps.
But he just seems like such a great guy.
Arguably, Ron Capps might be the nicest, most genuine drag racer guy on the entire circuit of the NHRA. He is such a great dude. He does so well with fans. He always takes time to talk to people, and he's been a very dear friend of mine for 20-plus years. Ron Capps is that nice, yes.
Okay, well, I don't want to bother you all the rest of the day. Thank you all so much, and I'll call after surgery.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks. Good luck to you on your surgery, all right?
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. I'll take care.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
Where's the long guy? Where's the pool guy? Where's the maids? Yeah, maids.
So, I saw the piece of property, beautiful piece of property.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
I'll see you,
Bye, Danny.
Thanks again, Dan Rose, and thanks again, Lummy.
Trash can. Is that the new trash can next to you?
No. I do, but it's getting fucking full.
All right, yeah.
Have you got your truck? You can fit it.
Real quick, Nancy Grace probably isn't going to be that.
My rear end. She says she's been in the legal field since 2011.
24,000 followers. But all these people who are signing up for this stuff. And his movie, or his football, or his football career. Announce everyone.
What up, Fred?
family is looking for an apology after they say their daughter was attacked in the middle of a track meet. Tonight, 10 News reporter Jason Freund spoke with the family about how she said it. Coming up on her, she kind of like made me like get cut off a little bit, so I backed away, and then as we got on the curve, she kept they were beside of it. They were watching. Enforcement, local law enforcement, they are always going after crime. And they don't say, oh, you committed a murder, oh, but you're an immigrant, well, let me let you go, right? So they are.
What's up, Jake, Ray, Grouper Lips?
You ever tried the Celsius packages?
No.
Powdered ones? I saw them in the store and I thought about getting them, but
I don't want to make my own drink.
I just wasn't sure if they were good. They were 50% off at Publix, so I was like,
Can they give you that fizz? That fizz, like that carbonation?
probably not.
Yeah, I don't know what the powder shit can do. I don't fucking know.
It says it's supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be the equivalent of one can.
Powder what?
Powdered Celsius.
Powder Celsius.
Publix just had some that was on sale, so I wasn't sure if they were any good.
Get out of the hole I dug. What's up, John? What's up, Johnny Z? What's up, Ray? What's up, Nick? What's up, Dark Match Steve?
These fucking trolls now get my phone number.
Oh, Jesus.
Telling me that I got it through a friend that's a friend of Jeff Capucci. Get the fuck out of here.
Bill Radio guy?
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Jay's in for an hour. Welcome, Jay. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
Headed to D.C. today. As soon as the show's over, blam.
Really?
Yeah, D.C. Then the Tim Pool show tomorrow.
That's super cool.
Then back on Wednesday.
Nice.
How about this, Lummy? This comes from Fetterman.
Yeah.
This comes from John Fetterman. And I got to tell you, man, I've had a lot of arguments with some of my Democratic friends about how bad, just if you take a step back and you don't identify as a Republican or a Democrat, I watched the weekend cycle of news and how that the Democratic Party is now in the middle of an infighting with regards to some of the more stately or have been with the Democratic Party a little bit longer, didn't really like the eraser boards, the hand signs, the removal of Al Green, and just the overall behavior. By the way, it's the first time in the history of our country that a person has been censured and removed from the congressional, House, the chambers, the congressional chambers in the history of our country during a congressional address. Nobody's ever been removed. No law person.
Way to go, Al.
So here's the deal, man. Instead of, I feel like the Democrats need to rally behind these outward these 7 to 10 people that made asses out of themselves, and rally behind, because it shows that they don't have a leader. And they need to circle the wagons and say, Americans are at a point now, I think, that we don't, that we're not necessarily Republicans or Democrats, although I guess more than ever we really are. But let's circle the wagons and not act like fools, and let's try to find somebody to lead us. And if the Democrats had a leader that they believed in, a Barack Obama, a Bill Clinton, I don't know if Gavin Newsom is in that circle anymore with regards to the wildfires, but I think that the leader of the Democratic Party could say, let's not forget John Morgan, who's I think in Florida, one of the largest Democratic donors in Florida.
I would say in the nation.
When Bill Clinton comes to Orlando, he stays at John's house. When Barack Obama came to the country, and he has now declared himself an independent because he feels his party has gotten weird on him. And I feel as if the Democrats have just really put their energy towards things that don't matter. The transgender issue, the drag queen issue, stuff that people don't really matter. Bill Clinton didn't care about that stuff. Barack Obama, probably one of the greatest things that, some people may argue with me, but one of his greatest accomplishment was overall, Barack Obama healthcare, where. And again, there's arguments on both sides of the fence, but it's good enough to have stuck for quite a while, and 2, it made sure that everybody could potentially get health care. That's things that we can wrap our head around, not universities like Columbia University. Now, again, this comes from Senator John Fetterman, who's a very high-profile Democratic senator from Pennsylvania. Columbia-led anti-Semitism run amok to cater to lunatic fringe and paid advocacy. Advocators. Was it
provocateurs?
I'm sorry, I'm so stupid. Provocateurs. So again, Columbia-led anti-Semitism run amok to cater to lunatic fringe and paid provocateurs. Leadership allowed these assholes to take over the campus and terrorize Jewish students. Now Columbia pays for its failure. And here's the most important words from Senator John Fetterman. And I support that.
Yep.
And the report is Trump yanks $400 million from Columbia over allegations of anti-Semitism. Trump has now gone through Cornell, Brown, University of Penn, Yale, Harvard, Columbia, all of these Ivy League schools that have huge endowments. Now, their endowments are, some of which are $800 and $900 million. And the federal government gives each one of these universities federal funding for free.
Yep.
And Columbia's take was that they were supposed to get this year was $400 million. And Trump comes out and says, hey, universities and colleges are made and have always been structured to have a liberal feel to it, where there was no subject matter you couldn't speak about, where young minds could open up and think of things that, conservative and maybe not backward, but just liberal. There was nothing too liberal or nothing that you couldn't speak about openly in college. That's where the thinkers and some of the movers and shakers like a Nick Bolea could go, and there be no wrong answers, and you could protest, but you had to protest peacefully. You had to protest over something that made sense. And the university usually didn't allow the protest or didn't participate or give you, funding or protection for that protest. If you were to protest, it was a corner out in the quad, you and 15 or 20 people with megaphones and signs, and that's the extent of it. And that is all under the guise of First Amendment. Absolutely. You have the right to say and do about anything you want on a college campus. But when you start breaching buildings and writing graffiti on buildings and not allowing students to come and go and travel throughout the university to get to their classes, and you're being disruptive, and you as the university don't have your cops out there busting this up, but instead you as the snowflake ass woke president's gonna say, hey, who am I to say that they can't be pro-Hamas? Who am I to say that River to the Sea is not a bad thing? Who am I? That's just it's their First Amendment. No, it's not. It's not their First Amendment. It's not at all.
Well, what's interesting is they have a right to say it, but they don't have a right to be funded by the government to allow it.
Right.
That's the deal.
Right.
So the federal government gives $7 billion with a B, $7 billion annually to Ivy League schools. Why?
And listen.
Why?
You have and like Jay said, you have the right to say it. River to the sea. Palestinians are the best. Go Hamas. Jews suck.
Jeez.
You have the right to say all that. But as a university, if you're going to allow that certain type of hate speech and protect that certain part of hate speech, then we're not going to fund you what we normally fund you. You're on your own.
It almost becomes the government paid and endorsing it, because we're subsidizing Columbia to $400 million a year, and they won't even enforce basic civil obedient laws. They're going to allow people to take over buildings, hold people hostage,
harass
make
students,
demands.
Harass
They're
students.
literally beating up Jewish kids. I've never thought I would see anything like this in my life.
You can be River to the Sea guy, and you can be Jew suck guy. You can be that, but you're going to be in a particular area that's going to not impede students' travel to and from class.
Right.
You're not going to disrupt or deface any part of our campus, and you're going to be able to protest in this particular zone. And you know what? We will even send police officers to make sure
to protect
the people that don't like what you're saying don't throw a rock and hit you in the head. But you're going to be in this area. You're going to be peaceful about it, and we're not going to let you dictate the terms. And all too often, all these universities that I speak of, the presidents stuck their heads in the sand and said, well, who are we to say that this is their First Amendment right? This is Columbia University where young minds can say, no. Okay, fine. You can have that. But the minute that they're touching Jewish kids going to class, the minute that they're defacing, and breaking into buildings and stuff like that, and your police officers are not doing anything about it, then we're not going to pay for it.
No, and you can't violate someone's civil rights under the auspices that it's a First Amendment protection. So you can say all those things, protest, but I can't stop a Jewish kid from going to class. That's like stopping.
When you got Fetterman, who was this Democratic anomaly.
He is Jewish, though.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you are. I'm sure. I don't know what the Democratic to Republican Jewish makeup is. I don't know. I just know. Listen, I'm not Democratic and I'm not Jewish. But I'm all for what Trump's doing. And if you're going to be anti-Semitic And I don't understand where all of a sudden now this is a thing. I know being anti-Semitic is amongst those stupid, bigoted ass people who don't like Jews for whatever reason. That's on you. It's like being a redneck and having a Confederate flag and not liking black people. That's your right. I don't understand it, but that's your right. But when you're a college university and you're supporting that, then that's just plain wrong. And I just don't understand, when you got Fetterman, who is a Democratic anomaly. One, they didn't know if he was going to be healthy enough to run. He was. Two, he's the kind of dude that wears sweatshirt and shorts to a normal tie rally. And three, he now, and within the whole AOC, all these outlander Democrats, he is a guy that has entrenched himself in, as I wouldn't say Democratic royalty, but he's certainly in the Democrat. He's very solidly in the party, and he is disgusted at the party, and he is. I don't know if there's been rumors that he's thinking about flipping. That the Democratic Party has let the anti-Semitism and has let the trans issue and has let all of these things that don't matter, that has let the state get involved with children that want to make decisions on what they want to be pronoun-wise behind their mom and dad's back. That's not what the Democratic Party is. You guys have gotten down this weird rabbit hole, and and all it's doing is making the Democratic Party look dumber and make Trump look better, because Trump's just recognizing the regular, much like Fetterman, the regular dude who wants to go out and bust ass and have a job and feed his family and pay for his house payment and not have a bunch of illegal immigrants here doing bad things, and try to get a handle on inflation and trying to get a handle on Doge and overspending. And the more fringe that these Democratic people that bring, dry eraser boards to the presidential congressional address, just to me screams of how badly they need some swinging D. The Democratic Party needs a Barack Obama or a Bill Clinton ASAP. Somebody with a cool head on their shoulders to say, let's burn a timeout, and more importantly, let's make Democrats great again.
You're right that there's no leader, and without a leader, they're like a ship without a rudder. But think about what they've done to every moderate Republican in the last 5 years. They had their young people, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. These people they've lost their place in the Democrat Party because there's no room for a centrist, a center lean left. That's okay. That's probably what Fetterman is. I've never really agreed with him.
And that's what the Democratic Party needs to be. Center, lean left. That's exactly what they need. Instead of so far left that, you're past the foul pole.
Yes,
you know where the Rays have that little party place on left and left. You're over there.
Club. You're hitting there.
You need to be like center field, in between center field and the foul pole is where you need to be. Speaking of baseball terms, but the party is now over there in that out of bounds party zone. And they need a leader to bring them back to center.
And it's not Jasmine Crockett who's doing those stupid little TikTok videos that are so embarrassing.
You know what might be? It might be Fetterman.
It could be, but this is just an observation. He's definitely made progress since his stroke. Can he make enough progress that he could stand on a debate stage in a suit?
I think so.
You have to wear a suit. Sorry, to be president, you have to wear a suit.
I think he can.
We'll see. He's going to be on that. I guarantee you he'll be on that stage.
Yeah.
I hope so. Remember when Casey Anthony, we talked about her last week, and she's now what is she, a legal
advocate.
A legal advocate.
Whatever that is.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
I mean, Pitty's a legal advocate.
Sure is.
Right?
She advocates
anybody
me.
that hangs around, that's what I'm saying. Anybody that's hung around you for 30 plus years, your political your legalness has rubbed off on them. So that your best friend, much like me and as much as I've hung around you, I'm not a lawyer, but I know more than most average people that aren't lawyers.
But you're a legal advocate for domestic violence, for supporting police officers. I mean, you have done a lot within this community in the legal field to try to help people.
I mean,
so
I
you're
know
a legal advocate, actually.
I know what voir dire is. You know, I know that I know some terms. I've been through the system. I've been on trial 4 times.
More than her.
I've been on trial. Yeah, true. And so now she's a legal advocate, which I don't know. Nancy Grace called it a money grab, which I think is exactly what it was. And TMZ broke it down. We'll do that next.
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
My life up so much.
They said today is National Napping Day because everyone gets so fucked up from the daylight change.
Dude, they need to put a national holiday on this Monday if they're keeping daylight safe. Move up St. Patrick's Day.
That's probably not a bad call, Snizuki, but I don't know that he's got the political chops to do it quite. You bring Pennsylvania along. What's up, the Thomas Gilson, Kenny Powers, FJ Bar 75. What's up, everybody? I saw you a little bit earlier there, Group of Lips. Highway 73. What up? Up to 1.2 thumbs up, everybody. Jay from NOLA. Big Buck, I'm good. How are you, my friend? You know, FJ Bar trying to get used to this time change. It's got me all fucked up. Jeff Frierson's up.
It sucks.
Maybe next week, Steve. What's up, Big Lunger? That's his Zerps. Super John.
Yeah, it's a little nasty. A little nasty out.
PC, what up? PC on.
Little nasty, little nasty.
What's up, Jay Bowler? 200 here? You know, Russ, nuts. I think you may be right about that, too.
What's up,
but
Thomas?
The only thing is, we started talking that way before the election. Gavin Newsom's talking that way now. And I think that Gavin Newsom is clearly a snake, and I don't believe anything he said, but part of me thinks that Fetterman may actually be a little bit...
I thought Beto O'Rourke was the future.
When he came skateboarding in?
I thought he was the guy.
They don't know how... They're trying to manufacture the it guy, and there is no way to manufacture that.
Dude, Bernie's out there, man. Bernie's going to some rural areas, pulling some numbers.
But his the same old spiel he's been spewing for 20 years.
He's mad at everybody, though.
He sure as hell is. John Costica, what up? Ray Jennings.
Damn it to shit!
See, that's the thing that they couldn't account for is that Bill Clinton was authentic. He came out of nowhere. No one ever imagined he was going to do what he did.
What's up, Longer? What's up, Matt Pressure?
George H.W. was at like 70% in July, and then he lost his ass. And the same thing with Clinton. She was supposed to be schooling Obama, and he came in and ruled it.
Who's the one guy in New York now that technically is supposed to be in charge?
What's up, Mortar? I never done said hi to Mortar before. What's up, Blonde Diva?
Oh,
excuse me, sorry.
Hakeem Jeffries is doing a horrible job.
Yeah, but
he's supposed to be the one who controls them, but they're not listening. They're not listening to him. He said, "Don't do any." The president's statement about the State of the Union was even better.
Jeffries.
They seemed like petulant children. I think he said something like,
I know some people, I think, back
What up, Wyatt?
when he talks, like, he has
Jay Bowler, you snake in the grass.
They were grooming him like Obama.
But he's not. Penny and I go crazy to watch it because he's absolutely annoying. He does these hand gestures.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm already getting a fucking text from my airlines. This says you're on a full flight and you might want to voluntarily check your carry-on bag for free because they're overcrowded.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, what number seat do you have? What row?
28.
Oh, fuck.
I wonder if
No, he's fine.
But you still should get, You should get
You're
enough
just bringing
time to
one
get over
bag.
that.
You're just bringing one bag?
Yeah, I'm bringing one bag that I could even stuff in front of me.
Yeah, you're good.
That's fine. If you're row 38, you're screwed.
It's for the assholes with the giant suitcases.
That's right.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, been a very slow day.
Yes.
Money-wise, I don't think we've gotten $1 from PayPal. That's okay. You guys killed it on Bubba 199. Maybe it's a little sticker shock when that bill came due today. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Thank you.
Yeah, Bubba Army tips that too, so.
Bubba Army tips. I don't think you got anything on there.
No, sir.
I ain't got anything over here. You ain't got anything over there. And Seth is right. I don't normally co-sign with his outbursts, but one of his outbursts today before he ran out of the studio is like, we should have the day off on these time changes because it's got me screwed up internally, and it does got me screwed up. I am screwed up, Seth.
I don't know why this is only 60 minutes, but for some reason it's very jarring to everybody.
Especially the spring forward one.
Yes.
Now, when you get an hour, of course, selfishly we like that, but this spring forward stuff sucks.
Well, you guys always get up, in the dark anyway and come to work when it's dark. I don't normally do that. So for me, my whole morning goes from a morning where there's sunlight to a morning where it's dark almost until the time I walk out the door, which sucks. I hate it.
Dirt Merchant 10
But
on
not
Super
now.
Chat.
Not now. You're Sunshine Willie all the way here.
No, just barely as I got here. But normally it's sunny for an hour, like literally. It
You
gets,
get here at 8:30.
That's right.
All right, so you leave at 8. And the sun, I think, comes up
7:30ish now.
No, I think way before that. Yeah,
maybe.
no, I got my app.
Let's see where the sun comes up.
Let's see. Let me see here. Tampa. What was the
7:16?
Is that what 7:16?
Yes.
7:16.
That was pretty close.
No, it's
I said 7:30. 7:15 is not that far off.
You're right.
I am certain there is someone out there who has a positive thing to say about
This is Casey Anthony, who's starting her new career as a legal advocate. Which,
Uncle Eric, $50.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Are you going to open up an office? Are you? Oh no! Remember, Lummy. She already said that she's going to do all of her reports from her car.
Yes, everything was in her car.
Get used to my car. Now, Seth, if you're thinking about opening up a new online kind of deal, wouldn't you at least get what Alex Stein has, and that is a kind of a green screen backdrop with something and something that's different than just being in your car?
Bubba, if I was perhaps a customer looking to see Casey Anthony for some legal advice, I'd like it to be out in the open. I don't need it to be in an office or a home. I'd like people to be around there in case.
You want to be in a car, so the car's okay with you?
Yeah, in case things go awry. I would just like there to be some witnesses.
And at the end of the day, man, let's not forget that a lot of the evidence that was found against her was in her car. So maybe she really feels most secure doling out legal advice while she's in a car, because a lot of of the DNA and the blood and all that, the things that they used, the state used were found in her car.
In her trunk, right?
Yeah, in her trunk. So maybe that's where she feels most comfortable.
About Casey Anthony being a legal advocate. And we are looking hard. We are looking. Nancy Grace probably isn't going to be that person. You know, of course, that Nancy Grace covered wall-to-wall Casey Anthony's trial for murder trial.
And about as fierce as any critic.
Absolutely.
And Jay, is this like, do you think Orange County and the state attorney of Orange County or whoever came up with, let's charge her with the max on a case that we don't necessarily have really, really solid facts? You usually don't go max until you got really solid facts, right?
Yep.
Had they not overcharged her and gone with like maybe a second-degree manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter or something like that, she probably would have gotten 15 years in jail.
Yep. And so they tried to get her for first degree with intention. And remember what Jose Baez said in the closing argument? They showed you pictures of her drinking, and maybe she's a slut. That doesn't make her a murderer.
Hey, did you hear about what Creatine Travis, what his friend has on his phone?
Mm-mm.
Creatine Travis's friend has on his phone your closing arguments at my trial.
What?
Yes. Lummy, you know about it.
Yes.
And we're trying to get that phone to extrapolate that.
Does he have the video or just the audio?
I thought you were involved in this.
No, I was not.
I thought Creatine Travis involved you.
No.
Maybe it was Rhett. Maybe it was just me. I don't know. I know that I got a message that Creatine Travis or somebody, it might have been Big. I don't know.
It was Macho.
Was it Macho Man?
Yes.
It was okay. Then Macho Man's available. Macho Man, what do we know so far? Thrown over to the newsroom.
Well, the photo should be on its way, and we'll get the audio when it gets here.
Now, is it the phone? Did he just use his phone to tape Jay on TV?
I'm not sure.
Because I'm assuming that would be the only way it would be on your phone, that you were watching it live on TV. Because remember, Jay, it was gavel to gavel on Court TV, I think, or something.
It was. They were having live streams here, and so there was one camera that was being used by all the different media outlets, and so that's where I would have thought you could get it, is from a media outlet when they had that stream. But I've been unable to find it.
I've even asked friends that work at various television stations, and they're like, we don't have it. Like, I don't know if they have a shelf life on how long they keep it.
It was on demand for 2 or 3 years.
Congressman
and then
would love
it went away.
$20.
It was on Spectrum on demand for a long time.
Well, yeah, fierce.
We really messed up and didn't get it, didn't we?
I thought it would be there forever.
Critic of Casey and fierce advocate for Kaylee. So the fact that Casey Anthony has now launched this Substack where she is, as she calls herself, a legal advocate. We've talked about the dangers of whether or not she is actually offering legal advice.
Now, Seth, what's the difference between a Substack and like an Insta, or a Substack and like an X? Like what can you help me out?
Substack's really for writers. I think that's kind of what it started as. So you could subscribe to people's writing, and then you could also pay for content that they have behind a paywall. So that's the difference between it.
Felix Barajas, let me $50 on the PayPal. Thank you.
So I've heard that term forever, and I don't really. So it's a different type of content that's more heavily like written word.
It's it's in the same vein as like Patreon and OnlyFans and everything like that. Except,
is it video or audio?
You can do. I'm using it for my cart thing. I have. You put up video. You can put up audio. Man, it even chops up all your audio for you and sends you clips. It's really cool.
But
would you suggest that the show gets into Substack, or is that ship already sailed?
You mean you want people to pay for content we exclusively post on there?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you want...
I don't even know.
You want to start blogging?
Just cancel the question.
Okay.
Whether or not she should be in this arena, well...
Because I hit you with your question, then you hit me back with like 4 in a row.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
so do you want to do this? You want to work more?
I'm like,
you can't just say you want a cake. I need to know what kind, how big.
I don't know, buddy. So let me just cancel that cake order, okay?
Here's what Nancy Grace has to say about it.
All the attention about Tot Mom finally getting a job.
Oh, that's right. She called her Tot Mom.
Now, legal advocate, my rear end She says she's been in the legal field since 2011 when she was tried for murder. That's her exposure to the justice system. I agree with trial judge Belvin Perry. This is just a money grab. She needs money. So what does she do? Come try to get money out of your pocket. And guess what? Thousands of idiots have already signed up every time.
Now let me, or Seth, whoever, can you look at her Substack and see where she's at?
She has 4,700, it looks like.
So 5,000 people.
Yeah.
And what's she charging?
I'm trying to find that out. I got to get an account.
Someone gives Tot Mom 1 penny. They are voting not guilty.
It's so interesting. I get what she's saying. I mean, look, Nancy Grace thinks
$100 a year, $10
there was a great.
Hold on.
$10 a month, $100 a year.
So she's already at $5,000 times 10. So she's already making what, 50,000 a month? Jay, is that what that is? Yeah.
Well, not everybody.
I think it's a year.
Not everybody that's subscribed as a payer.
Oh, you can be a freer?
So you said it's 10 a month or 100 a year.
Yeah. Everybody's doing the 10 a month. Nobody wants to go long term, please.
Even justice done.
Right. But at 10 a month, 5,000 subscribers times 10 a month is 50 grand. But Seth's saying that there could be, you can have, there's a free application in there too.
Yeah, it's like I have on my Substack, I have 42 subscribers and 11 are paid.
Okay.
When Casey Anthony was found not guilty, but she was found not guilty. And the weird thing about this, and you look, one of the draws is just a circus type draw, right? But the other draw is
she needs to go to OnlyFans.
Yeah, she does.
And if she would just show some TNA and kick it out wide, see that nice ass? Please. Who's that one chick, Lummy, that we had? Brandy Love?
Yeah, Brady.
Brandy Love, she's like the number one chick in the MILF space in all of porn. And she's making and she has sex with dudes on her OnlyFans. Like black dudes and the lawnmower guy and the guy who's fixing her car and all that kind of deal. And she's a hot, 45 to 50-year-old woman, hot. And Lummy, she makes $300,000 a month.
What?
A month.
Yeah.
I'm in the wrong business.
Jay, she's got a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, and a Bugatti.
She has a Bugatti?
Yes. When you're making 300, that's 3.6 million a year for just blasting dudes.
She's almost.
I wish I was a chick.
10 grand
telegraphing. Hey, I got out of a tight spot. Maybe I can give you some advice how you can do that too.
And I gotta tell you, man, it looks like she's got a little shoulder development there, like she's been lifting a little bit. Like she's stayed attractive. She might be more attractive now as an older woman than she was as that party girl.
I don't know about that, Harvey, but Nancy obviously always entertaining and still very passionate about this whole situation. And I did think it was kind of interesting that she basically is saying, I mean, in the interview, she gets into all the grisly details of what happened to Kaylee, but also just saying that, like, all these people, because she's got about 24,000 on TikTok now, but all these people that are...
So Casey Anthony has 24,000 on TikTok, has 5,000 on Substack.
Essentially,
She's got 70,000 now on TikTok.
70,000 on TikTok.
24.
How many do we have on TikTok?
40.
1,000 followers, but all these people who are signing up for the Substack, she essentially is like, you're basically, she obviously feels that Casey Anthony did it and feels like if you're giving her money at this point, all these years later.
The only money I'm giving Casey Anthony is so I can see her vagina. and I'd pay $10 a month to see that vag.
You're basically validating her being not guilty.
It's funny because this is O.J. Simpson again.
But I gotta tell you, it is, and I heard.
Think how much money OJ would have made if he would have just been blasting white chicks on OnlyFans.
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
She has like 3,000 subscribers now on Substack. I think
that now has increased to nearly 5, right, Lummy?
A lot of them are probably going to go there to troll her, and I'm sure she's like, "That's fine. I still get their money.
She makes money."
But
that's why you got to go to OnlyFans. so that you can be like Brandy Love and have a better car collection than Jay.
That's what they're going to do. You don't think there are people who are going to...
Did you hear Jay said, she's got a Bugatti?
Pay that $10 a month just so they can say all the things they want to say to her?
No, that Charles and I
mean, maybe we need to come up with a section. Maybe we need to come up with something where people can just dog me. Oh, there's already one of those out.
Well, it looks like she put a post out on her Substack saying about how they better watch what they say or she's going to get the law involved.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I sent you.
You know why?
Oh, really?
Oh, you sent that to me?
The law
you know
of
why?
defamation?
Because no, there's probably, I'm thinking, Jay, that there's people that are so adamant about what she did that they're threatening her. For everybody speaking good, bad, or otherwise.
No, she said libel. Like there, look at that.
So
that's libel slander? Really?
Heed your words and make sure you say something of substance. Here's the law. Here's the law in Florida about threats, libel and slander, etc. You don't have to be a Florida resident to be charged. Jurisdiction is where the crime was committed, and usually, if it's over the internet, it's you're saying something hateful, slanderous, liable, threatening, bullying, etc. You mean the stuff that we get every day, Lummy?
Yeah.
The recipient party can request the jurisdiction be in the state where they live, not in the state where you committed the act. The internet is not a protected place.
So, Bubba, I'm going to use a phrase that you're very familiar with. She's not a good plaintiff. She's a bad victim. No one gives a shiz about Casey Anthony and her reputation. No one cares.
And what are your damages?
Right.
None.
People think you're a murderer because you were charged for murder. You're allowed to have an opinion.
In my opinion, you murdered your kid. That's not slanderous. That's not liable. It's not defaming. If a person would correctly frame that statement, they would be fined. It's my opinion, after watching all the testimony, that you got lucky. Because in my opinion, I think you did it.
You know who she's not suing? Nancy Grace. You think Nancy Grace knows what's up?
She's going to be setting up on this Substack like a way to email with her. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to want to communicate with her.
I think there's going to be a lot of dudes trying to get some of that ass. Tell me that wouldn't be a notch.
Or, I guess, troll her, but also maybe just to talk to Casey Anthony. I do think there are people that are interested in just speaking with her.
Well, not
maybe
just
not about legal advice, though.
No, you're right. You're right. And
no, about how big her jugs are and her oral skills.
Reality is that celebrity now has drastically changed. It used to be movie stars, and now it's infamous people.
Yeah.
And O.J. Simpson got more attention because of the murders than
his movies.
Than his movies.
Or his football.
Or his football career. And
I got more attention from the Hulk sex tape than all the great years. And hell, I was a 9-time Billboard Radio Personality of the Year winner. Nobody remembers that.
Being notorious it has as much currency now as what?
No, it doesn't.
The traditional celebrity used to be.
Absolutely.
Right?
Hi, I'm Lila Mitchell out of Roanoke, Virginia, and I know Nancy Grace is not one to hold back, and rightfully so in this situation. The only experience that Casey Anthony has in court is being a tried murderer, and honestly, the real focus today should be on Kaylee Anthony, who would have been turning 20 years old.
Yeah, 20 years old. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't strike me until she said that.
Yeah. Because there was 329.
What's that?
She has a lot of time on her hands. She has responded to. I'm gone through about 60 now. She has 329 replies. She's already responded to 60 of them.
Yeah, but here's the deal.
She's responding to every one.
Here's the key. When you keep responding, they keep responding back.
Oh, yeah.
And it keeps them engaged, and it keeps them subscribed. They'll potentially unsubscribe if you're not engaging them. So you got to keep it going. Like with you guys that answer my Facebook page and stuff, keep it churned up. Ask them questions. What do you think? You think Bubba's a dick? Yes or no? Looks like we get 5,000 messages on that one.
Yeah.
Let me go to words. Did you see? I love this chick. Did you see this chick? She's an African-American hairstylist in Maryland. And this 13 or 14-year-old chick came in and got her hair did and then ran out like she wasn't going to pay. An old girl tracked her down, man, and drug her by her hair into the salon and called the cops. Man, don't try to shortchange a wiry African American woman.
Has that ever happened to Operation Pigmentation? Someone tried to run out on him?
Craig and Rio wouldn't do nothing, man. They'd be like,
Thing is, she's the one that got arrested.
oh, the hairstylist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Craig and Rio just make a phone call to one of their boys, and their boys would take care of it. That's how they would handle it.
Handle it in the streets?
That or send the young gun after him. You know Craig and Rio ain't running down no streets, Seth. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll get to that story next. We'll end the show. I'm trying to end a little bit early because I got to get out of here.
Yeah, you got a big flight.
I got a big flight that I'm absolutely regretting.
Oh,
it'll be fine.
How long a flight is it?
It's what, an hour and a half, I think.
To DC?
Right? Yeah,
maybe 2 at the most.
Okay.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
Cable dog. Yeah. DK. What's up, David Slave? Ron Bond.
Any basketball this weekend, Seth?
Yeah, my daughter finished out her season 0-8.
Oh, did they score more than 6?
What's that?
Did they score more than 6?
Yeah, they got 10.
Nice.
30-10, they lost.
Oh.
We had one of those seasons. We were 1-8 or 9 one time traded flag football.
Oh, the coaches fucking canceled the last practice because they had baseball. This fucking thing was a disaster.
The guy had baseball. He was a coach for baseball too.
Yeah, yeah.
How shitty's the baseball team?
They just it wasn't a priority anymore for them, and it's all right. I'm taking over next year.
I was gonna say you gotta be like Danny Lombardi.
I'm gonna be
Seth
in there.
Lombardi.
There you go.
I'm gonna have a giant fucking rolling whiteboard on the sideline so the kids know where the fuck to go every time. I'll have their name written and they can look back at the board to make sure.
You gonna be on the court while they're playing?
Yeah, some coaches do that. I like it. As long as you can get out of the way in time.
You gonna dress up too, pants and button down?
Whistle. Probably gonna have to get a new attire.
Don't get like Coach Riley, wear a suit.
There you go.
I'm not opposed to anything. Maybe I'll just wear a tuxedo shirt.
That's even better.
That would be legendary.
I'm not saying I know how to coach. I'm just saying I know what not to do, and I watched it this year. And the motherfucking kids never got even introduced to each other.
That's Congressman World, $10.
after watching Bubba with Danny and seeing how and my horrible experience, to just take some encouragement and simple plays and figure out who can run, who can catch. It's really not that hard, is it, Bubba?
No.
So are you gonna try to get kicked out the first game? Show your.
If my team needs a surge on me, I will get thrown out.
Get tech.
Maybe the Al Green of the coaches.
Start bumping the referee.
Be like Bobby Knight, throw a chair across the fucking floor, get a real high blown tech.
Clevelander, it's funny. I'm actually a kind of a proponent of zone defense, and then I read about it and said zone defense is bad for kids. So.
Not really.
Man on man, I think they can handle.
So you play a box and one.
Thank you, Tina.
I'd play zone and find the fastest kid on your court and have them nothing but do.
I just think the kids need to know where to go. They need to go to a spot every time.
Yeah.
I think them looking for a kid's number to see who they're guarding is
2-3 zone, can't beat it. No kid can shoot from the outside. There's your 2.
That's true.
3 down low.
That's true.
Coach Bubba.
Get me in there, baby.
Strikes again.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
This guy's been calling or been ringing for a while. This will be the last call of the day. Then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try to play this hairdresser story quickly. I'll walk Jay to his car, and then I will literally walk to my car and get the hell out of here. Hello.
You talking to me, Bubba?
Yep, quickly, very quickly.
Hey, how are you? I am Creatine's friend with the phone.
Oh, okay. So tell me what you got. Did you watch it did you watch it as it was happening and you recorded it on your phone, or how did you get it on your phone?
No, you guys posted it somewhere. I downloaded it. It might even be on iTunes still, but that's where I believe I got it. It's downloaded into the phone.
The video?
No video, just audio. Sorry,
that's okay.
Audio.
So we can probably. And is it good quality?
Yeah, it's good quality. Other than Jay wandering away from the microphone from time to time.
Yeah, that's okay. It was, he was able to make contact with the jury the entire time. So the wandering was for effect. Can I put you on hold?
Absolutely.
Can I put you on hold? And have we made arrangements to get this phone from you?
Yeah. Creatine gave me the address, so I will ship it out there. I'll give Macho the passcode, and you guys can go in and take anything else off there. There's a lot of Bubba stuff on there.
Man, so. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. And you know what? Leave us some information in that package that you give us of your name and your shirt size, so I can have the merch crick get you out some merchandise as well.
You got it. Not a problem.
I appreciate you, bud. Thanks.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Jay, how cool would it be for you and I to do a podcast of your clothes? Like, that would be it's way too long form to do on the show, but we could do a one-off podcast of your clothes.
I'd love it. I'll do it with you.
Which in your opinion, and you've done, hundreds of trials, in your opinion, you feel this was one of your best closes ever.
For sure.
I mean, absolutely.
For sure.
God, I'm so stoked to get it, aren't you?
I can't believe that you have it. I can't wait to listen to it.
She ran, forget tried. She ran without paying me.
And then what did you do?
I dragged her by her hood back into the salon until I can get paid, or, until the police come, or until, she let me take out the service.
I mean, Seth, that's a hell of an employee right there.
Well,
if somebody starts stealing on you, she's going to track you down and drag your ass back until she can take out the service.
Well, can I share what happened in the story?
I was going to say, I heard the story was a little different.
All right, go ahead.
The customer sent the money to the wrong Cash App.
And then came back and told her she did.
Oh.
And she was 15.
And this girl just got a real itchy, I want to beat somebody's ass trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like she literally ran outside.
Get $50 on the Bubba Army tips.
We need it, buddy. I'm getting ready to hit the road. Thank you, Johnny K.
She was about to be gone. I feel like if I didn't do that, she would have been gone, and I would have just never been paid.
But the 15-year-old's mother says Jayla also dragged her by her hair when she grabbed her hood, and says that her daughter accidentally sent the money to the wrong Cash App and was trying to pay Jayla.
It's just absolutely absurd. It's viral. It's all over the country.
And how is she dealing emotionally with this?
Emotionally not good. not good at all.
The family has hired the Jackson and Associates law firm to represent the 15-year-old in a civil lawsuit.
The video is horrendous.
But Jay, here's the deal. And if this is just some little mom and pop hair salon, they probably ain't got a lot to sue, do they?
Probably not.
It's a 15-year-old girl. We're talking about.
They got one hell of a suit, and if it was, Supercuts.
I was going to say, if it's Supercuts, you're golden.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something, but.
Someone's child here, a child who is being dragged
The Don Cesar spa, something like that.
across a salon floor by her jacket for over something as simple as a mistake.
And Jayla Cunningham says that she had no clue that she was charged. We brought it to her attention tonight. She says she heard it for the first time and that she has received death threats as a result of the viral video, so she has moved her hair salon to another location. She had,
let's say that she did do it, dining and dashing. Say, when we were kids, if you dined and dashed and you left the restaurant, the manager can't come outside, beat your ass, and pull you in by your hood. Not okay.
No, I don't know what. I think all you could do is file a police report.
Get a license plate, get a description, maybe have a video, call the cops. You can't, that's vigilantism. It's unacceptable.
Lummy, I'm out. You guys are going to do an after show, I think. Or are you not?
Yeah, I'm good. If Seth's good with it.
I just want to see what Lummy said. Yeah, I'll be here.
You guys figure it out. If you don't do one, you don't do one. No big deal. Jay, I'll walk you out.
All right.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host, Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council. Co-host, J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repair hello. I'm back.